look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. No, I'm serious this time. We got a doozy of a show today. I'm serious this time. We got Matt George at 11. We got Brett Siegel at 12. We got fresh off the press from that FanDuel show, the Run It Back pod, the Run It Back show. Sam Amick with a heater. More information from Scott Perry. All these Kings fans that have said we don't trust the ownership, we don't trust Vivek to trust the process, to do this, to do that. Sam Amick spoke on it. He said Scott Perry is still trying to convince Vivek that this thing needs to be 3 to 5 years. This is what we've been trying to explain to all of you. This thing might not be pretty. This thing might not be a quick fix. And at least the stink would make more sense, right? 3 to 5 years, but it's a good stink. You know what I mean? You're getting to watch some young players. So when I throw out ideas for the Anthony Davises of the world, for the Zions of the world, it's not that I don't understand why a lot of you would say, Allen, we don't want to hear it. They're damaged goods. Even, I don't even love Ja Morant, but the Ja Morants of the world. I'm just saying, are you prepared? And I know, Allen, we've already stunk for however many years. What's 3 to 5 more? But again, there's no actual thing to say that you will for sure. There's no guarantee that this thing will turn around. We've seen it work. Rockets, Thunder, kind of the Blazers a little bit. We've seen it not work. Wizards still trying to figure it out. Nets still trying to figure it out. Hornets still trying to figure it out. So that's where we're at with this. So we have all of that information for you. That's coming up. Like I said, we have 2 big guests today, and you know that Matt George is going to have a lot of thoughts on what happened last night, on what Sam Amick had to say. Of course, I have thoughts myself that I will get into. We want your thoughts, 916-339-1140. We also are going to give away more tickets to see Tony Hinchcliffe. They went like more than hotcakes last night. Yesterday, I mean, as soon as we said the number, the phone lines were off the hook. Thunder Valley, Friday, December 19th. So it's right around the corner. That's coming up at 1 o'clock. If you're listening on the app, just know it's happening at 1 o'clock. Because a lot of y'all will hit me up and say, well, we're delayed. Well, I'm telling you now, you got 3 hours. It's at 1. There's a universally 1 o'clock, no matter where you're listening or how you're listening, okay? So that's coming up at 1 o'clock. Like I said, Brett Siegel's coming up at 12. He's got all the newest info on Jonathan Kuminga, on what the Kings could do. What I want to know is when we see the report from our guy, Mark Spears, future friend of the show, that the first round pick is off the table now for the Kings in the Jonathan Kuminga deal. Number one, I'm just laughing, right? Number one, you just got to laugh at the Warriors because, I mean, you had it right there, right? Maybe they overplayed their hand. So now I'm curious, Malik Monk for Jonathan Kuminga? and you'd have to make that money work with somebody else from the Kings. Would the Warriors actually do that? From Trey Murphy and Giannis to Malik, and that's no disrespect to the pizza guy, but to Malik, who did not play in the second half. Malik played 9 minutes. So let's spend some time on the game, okay? Because I know a lot of you out there, we're still trying to break down these games. We're still trying to at least enjoy what we're being forced to watch. At least enjoy what we can get out of these games, right? Some of the developments. Well, Allen, who's developing? Well, Russell Westbrook played 40 minutes. I guess he's still developing at 37. Remember our rule, you got to play as many minutes as your age. So Russ actually overdid it last night. He played 40 minutes. DeMar played, God, I'm not even kidding, 36 minutes. He played 36 minutes, okay? Maxime Reynaud, guess how? I'm serious. It's a thing. 23 minutes.
Wow. So Zach LaVine must be at 31, 32, maybe.
Hey, Zach, it's time for you to get your minutes.
No,
Okay,
it was 38.
He played 38.
38 minutes.
All right. He played 38. Keon played 15. Like I said, those minutes have to come from somewhere for Zach LaVine. Malik Monk played 9. Nick Clifford played 14. Drew Eubanks, no longer the opener, not a starter, the opener, he played 6. So that's the minutes distribution. And again, this is what happens at the end of these games. So I got in trouble last night, found out not only is there a Russell Westbrook FC, Russell Westbrook fan club, which we've talked about before, there's a DeMar DeRozan one. So I posted a video yesterday on social media of Keegan walking up to the top of the key, and we're going to talk to Matt George about Keegan because he's had some thoughts because Keegan, he's been ice cold. And I know I had Keegan's pops on the show, and that's the running joke that I'm not objective with Keegan. But look, I can be objective, all right? So we're going to get into the depths of the Keegan Murray situation. So I got that for you, don't worry. But DeMar, who has said this is Keegan Murray's team now, there is a clip that I posted on social media where for some reason – Keegan's defender is in the middle of kind of helping on DeMar, like he's showing a double. Why you would double DeMar at the wing, basically beyond right there at the three-point line, I don't know, because DeMar is not going to shoot that off the dribble. He's not going to do that, not from three-point range. So the guy is kind of helping. Keegan is wide open, right? I count 4 seconds of Keegan just sitting there at the top of the key while DeMar is in his office. Okay, DeMar then gives him the ball, Keegan, and Keegan tries to take off as soon as he catches it. They call a travel. Then Keegan gets pulled, and I think shortly after that, this thing kind of went off the rails, and the Kings, they couldn't get it done. So my argument was exactly what we were talking about yesterday, right? It felt like last night, I said, don't take DeMar DeRozan in prop talk, set at 18.5. Then as soon as the game started, well, if you didn't listen to me, clearly today is DeMar's day to take shots. Now, I know Russell Westbrook had 24, but Russ is another one who is just kind of all over the place when it comes to his offensive output. You don't know, but you know that Russ always can go for a triple-double. But specifically between Zach LaVine and DeMar, if you're playing prop talk, don't ever take both of them, right? Both of them will never hit because that's how this team works right now. It's going to be somebody's day. So last night, it was DeMar's time in the rotation to take the shots. So he gets to his 20 points, but he's doing it with some level of blinders on. And I get it. Keegan has been ice cold. But we had this conversation. You decided to say, this is Keegan's team now, and he's sitting at the top of the key, unguarded. You got to get that guy going. This is the same conversation we had with Zach LaVine all those games ago against the Nuggets, right? It doesn't matter how a guy's been shooting. You're not beating that team if you don't have some level of three-point shooting. Because, yeah, DeMar went for 20. He was also a team worst minus 14. So this is not even to hate on DeMar. This thing is just all over the place. We're going to pull minutes from – now Malik only played 9 minutes. This team, Precious Achiuwa, dang near might be the third or fourth most important player on the team right now. Maybe higher than that. This team goes into every game, and this is no disrespect to Doug Christie, and I don't want it to come off that way, but they truly don't know what this thing is going to look like. I saw a team in the Pacers missing 3 guys that got full-on rotation playing time in the finals. Obi Toppin, one of my favorite players, very underrated, but he was not good enough for Sacramento. Obi Toppin, Tyrese Halliburton, and Aaron Nesmith. Those guys didn't play. Now, Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in the game, they get to crunch time, and they had a process, right? They get to crunch time, Pascal, do what you need to do, work out. They get to crunch time, Andrew Nembhard, proven player, work out, 2 huge threes. The Kings get to crunch time, and it's hot potato. It's, hey, you go, I go. Let's play musical chairs with the basketball. I watched it last night as this game was close, and one possession they come down. All right, DeMar, you're kind of the closer. Do you want to take a shot? Next time down, all right, Russ, you've been hot tonight. Do you want to take a shot? Next time down, hey, Zach LaVine, you've been hot lately. Do you want to take a shot? There's no cohesiveness. And Malik didn't even play. So on the other side, Pascal, 23 points, played 35 minutes. Benedict Mathurin, 25 minutes. What'd I tell y'all? Eastern Conference Kuminga. He will be a restricted free agent at the end of the season. Did you like what you saw? He made 4 threes. I'm just saying, Jay Huff, all right, 31 minutes, 8 points. Andrew Nembhard, a dog. 28 minutes. And his brother, a dog, too. I didn't want his brother. He's on the Mavs. He's balling out. So he balled out. That man, Ethan Thompson, who we just found out was an NBA player, he played 28 minutes and had 6 points. Jarris Walker, future king for Keon Ellis, 12 points, made 2 threes. Kyle, what'd you think about my guy Jarris Walker? He was getting to the line. He was doing something. I tried to tell y'all. And, of course, it started out early, then it cooled off. Garrison Matthews with 7 points. He had 2 threes early, and then it kind of just went south from there. He didn't do much. I mean, the biggest miss of the night, to me, I don't know if I saw one under the basket dribble, one Nash dribble from T.J. McConnell. T.J. McConnell, I mean, I don't know what the thought process is, if he could be available. I don't know. I mean, 16 minutes, 4 points, just felt like he didn't have a pure position on this squad. And I know we don't watch a ton, or at least I don't watch a ton of Pacers basketball. But I thought that if you told me that Tyrese Halliburton is out, you would think that T.J. McConnell would have gotten at least 20 minutes, right? Andrew Nembhard gets 33. So T.J. McConnell is kind of fallen out of not out of the rotation. He played 16 minutes, but all these guys played double digits. They ran out what? They ran out 11 dudes, and they all played at least 10 minutes. So that was the biggest letdown. If you were going to lose to the Pacers, I needed to see a Nash dribble from T.J. McConnell. And he just didn't do much. He just didn't do much, Kyle.
They didn't need him. T.J. McConnell is just such a confusing player. Like, I still don't understand how he has these, 30-point games with 10 assists, but then just is back to being a third-string point guard again like it's nothing. Like, he just kind of comes out of nowhere and has these amazing games, and he's never given, a big role on any team. He's just a very confusing player to me.
Yeah, and the craziest part about him is he doesn't really shoot threes like that. You would think somebody like that.
Except in the finals.
Right, has to shoot threes, but he doesn't. But Andrew Nembhard, I mean, the guy balled out. The guy did his thing. So shout out to him and shout out to the Pacers who took care of business. And again, the whole disrespect thing, Whitey makes fun of me when I get mad at Vegas for disrespecting the Kings. I can't get mad anymore. There is no disrespect. Whatever you think the Kings should lose by Vegas, I'm taking your word for it. Because once again, 3.5, the Pacers did more than cover. So I don't care what the line is. I'm telling y'all right now, I will no longer do the bit. I will no longer do the thing where I get upset and get mad at Vegas for quote unquote disrespecting the Kings. I can't do it anymore. Because Vegas, I mean, the Kings, we got to double check it, Kyle. Earlier in the season, the Kings were third worst covering the spread. They might have dropped. They might be worse now.
I mean, the Heat game probably helps a little bit, but yes, every loss, it feels like they are over whatever the spread number was, which sounds to me less like you're done doing the bit and more like Schmal and Miles is just tired of getting railroaded by these point spreads and thinking that it's disrespectful that the Kings are 3.5-point dogs against the Pacers. By the way, Whitey's 9.5 cleared too, so maybe we should have listened to Whitey.
We didn't know what side Whitey was on. He just said 9.5.
9.5 covered.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I got on the game, man. Y'all can call in if you want to talk about the game last night, but I think we got bigger fish to fry. This team is going nowhere fast, right? This team is just, you ever see, I remember the first season, and it went south once they got Kim Kardashian in there, but the first season of American Horror Story, right, and it was all set in a house. And part of it was that if you got into the house, if you walked into the house, you essentially couldn't leave, right? So they would walk out the front door, okay? And if the ghosts or whoever gets you, you'd be stuck there forever with the rest of the ghosts. And that's how it feels watching Kings basketball. It feels like the first season of American Horror Story. It's a Sacramento Horror Story. You are forced to watch the same thing. You can't leave the house. You can't leave the house. You are forced to watch the same thing over and over and over again. Just different versions of it. Last night it was, well, Russ got a triple-double and Malik didn't play, but you lost. And Andrew Nembhard is making shots from Roseville. That's what he's doing last night. Pascal only had 23. And again, I guess I'm saying only 23. Where does Keegan fall in that regard? If you are going to be that guy. Now, I'll give you this. We talked about the Rockets game, right? And how in the Rockets game, Keegan was at one point guarding Şengün, guarding Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson. Jabari. That, Kyle, I thought was extremely fair to say. Last night, we're just getting to a point, and again, I don't know if it's the minutes he played. What did he play? 37 minutes again? It gets to a point where, all right, I feel you on that. The Rockets argument, that was a good argument, right? But on the other side of it, yeah, you got Pascal tonight, right? Some of these days, Keegan got to say, yeah, I got Pascal, and I'm still giving you buckets. There has to be a level to that, and maybe he's still getting his legs under him. That's possible, too. I mean, he just started playing basketball this season and went straight into 35-plus minutes a night. So I'm not trying to give Keegan excuses, but it does get to a point where, all right, Keegan, you had 8 points last night, right? You did okay on Pascal. He still had 23, and I know Keegan, everybody is switching everything anyway, but if you're going to be this guy, you have to do both. Right now, I'm going to be honest with you. That's kind of Draymond Green-ish, right? That was Keegan. I'm a rebound, I'm a defend, and I'm going to make 1 3. He's playing very Draymond Greenish. We don't need you to play Draymond Greenish. I don't need Keegan. Oh, cool, he got 11 rebounds. I know somebody has to rebound, but we're expecting more, or at least I'm expecting more. It's still early, but that's the one I want to talk to Matt George about it. That's coming up at 11, as well as all the rumors that are swirling, because I'm holding them to a higher standard. You know what I mean? And even if I'm a friend of the family, I still got to do my job, all right? And I can't give them a pass. So that is what we're going to get into. Like I said, the game is the game. Come on, man. They lost again. It's just bad. Kyle, I hope you're ready for the Major League Baseball lockout, because, I don't know what I will spend my time doing, but the Dodgers have just signed arguably the best closer in baseball, and Edwin Diaz, to a 3-year deal. And the Giants weren't really in the market for a closer. They don't have one, but they're just not in the market anyway. Kyle Schwarber, the winter meetings are going on. Kyle Schwarber goes back to the Phillies on a 5-year deal. He'll be getting $30 million a year. The Giants were interested for some odd reason. They already got 3 DHs, but I guess they wanted 4. So the Giants miss out on both of those guys, and Edwin Diaz goes to the Dodgers, and I'm just mentally preparing for a lockout. And I was talking to my buddies before the show, and they said, look, the bottom line is we're going to have to wear this lockout, but then at least there'll be a salary cap and salary floor after that. And I just don't want one, man. I just want to keep playing. And you know what this all comes back to, Kyle? Because I don't really have a huge problem with how the Dodgers spend, because I've gone to a Giants game, and I know they're worth nearly $5 billion, and I know those crab sandwiches are about $27 a pop. So I don't really have a problem with how the Dodgers spend. I do think there should probably be a salary floor. I don't really care about a salary cap. My bigger issue is just a lockout in general when baseball is starting to get some momentum. Because, Kyle, it's to the point now where this thing is probably cooked, upcoming. And we can all just prepare, and I guess the one thing we can say is baseball will be better on the other side of it whenever it is.
I don't think that's the case, though. I don't think baseball is going to be on the better side.
That's the argument, though. That's the argument.
Yeah, I know it is, and that's what owners are going to try and sell people on with this lockout thing. But I don't think baseball is going to be better on the other side, because if they put in the salary cap, salary floor situation, you're going to suppress the wages of the players, which is going to, again, disincentivize the top teams from actually trying to compete because you're hitting that salary cap. But you're theoretically going to bring the other teams back in. Maybe it's going to make it more competitive, but it's going to suppress the player wages and prevent the Mets from being like, yeah, we're going to actually go for this and try and compete, or prevent the Phillies from saying, hey, we're going to give Schwarber $150 million. You know, I don't think baseball is going to be better off. Also, it's just going to suck for the players if they do lose the salary cap situation.
Well, let me tell you this much. Bryce Harper telling Rob Manfred to get the bleep out. Hey, Bryce, how about you hit your weight in the playoffs? Why don't you show up against the Dodgers? Because then we would just be able to keep doing. No. Hey, Bryce, you want to tell him to get the bleep out? Why don't you actually do something in the playoffs? And Schwarber, all right, at least he shows up from time to time. And how about this, Kyle, while you're at it? Hey, Blue Jays, why don't you learn how to play Little League Baseball? Why don't you learn how to play Little League Baseball, and you could have won the World Series? All you had to do was play legitimate Little League Baseball, and we're not here. But now we are. Now everybody's saying, see, look, the Dodgers are going to three-peat. Now we need a lockout. I don't want a lockout. But the Blue Jays can't play Little League Baseball, and Bryce Harper is too busy on TikTok to actually hit in the playoffs. And I like Bryce. You know, Bryce and I go way back. All right? We beat Bryce a long time. Back in those days, Bryce could hit. Then he's got his GM, president of baseball operations, saying, hey, Bryce might be washed.
This is crazy. You're talking about Bryce Harper, one of the greatest postseason hitters in history.
And I think Bryce's career is underrated. But come on, Bryce.
They're saying, why don't you hit in the playoffs?
Kyle, this is what I'm saying.
To Bryce Harper, who has like 1,000 OPS in the playoffs.
But this is what I'm saying. Bryce Harper is saying to Rob Manfred, get the bleep out, right? If the Phillies had beat the Dodgers or the Jays, the argument is, hey, well, you can spend as much money as you want. You can't buy a championship. So if Bryce wants Rob Manfred to get the bleep out, why don't you hit the ball out of the infield? Why don't you do that, Bryce?
Look, I agree with you, but the idea that the salary cap is good, the idea that players should just have to sit down and accept the salary cap to save baseball is asinine, and I don't think baseball is going to be better off for that. It's just going to make more money for these owners that they're not going to spend, because that's the problem with baseball. These owners don't want to spend.
Well, the Magic Johnson does. And the Dodgers do.
Yeah, exactly. The Dodgers be stunting on these guys.
Well, and that's the thing. Bryce, let's keep pouring money into the Phillies to lose in the first round, to lose to the Diamondbacks and Corbin Carroll. That's what we're doing.
But that's what the Dodgers used to be. The Dodgers used to be, we're going to pour $500 million to lose to Corbin
and then
Carroll.
They said, now we're going to pay $1 billion, more than $1 billion.
No.
What they did, Kyle, just real quick on the Jeff Passan front, and I know we got to get to the other side, and I'm about to react to everything we heard from Sam Amick. Closer Edwin Diaz's deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers is for 3 years, $69 million, sources tell ESPN. The Dodgers, who were targeting bullpen help this winter, got the best closer on the market, setting a new AAV record for relievers. But Bryce is saying, get the bleep out. Bryce, you're going to sit the bleep down once Edwin strikes you out again and again in the NLDS.
How about the Giants decide to start, how about the Giants and the Mets and the Phillies? How about these teams try and start stunting on the Dodgers, huh? How about the Brewers owner who's like, our
goal is... The Phillies and the Mets spend money. They just can't win. The Mets were a disaster. The Giants, like I said, They sold 10% of the organization. Now they want their valuations to look right. You know what? You know whose valuation didn't look right? Me, after Dippin' Dots and Ghirardelli and a crab sandwich when I'm out there. So spend the money, Giants. Kyle, we got to get to the other side because we want to keep hitting our brakes because it makes Dave very upset. And when we return, we will hear from Sam Amick what he said about the state of the Kings organization. And I'm giving you my reaction, and we react to everything you have to say. 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Right now at Maida Subaru, get 2 season passes to Sierra at Tahoe with purchase or lease of any new Maida Subaru. Plus great Maida Subaru savings on every new Subaru. Learn more at MaidaSubaru.com.
And 1226.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And yeah, there's just a lot. Phillip Rivers is back. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who has not played in the NFL since the 2020 COVID season, is signing to the QB-needy Indianapolis Colts practice squad. That's from Adam Schefter. Are we sure that's and I know there's obviously familiarity there, but is that the best the Colts could do?
Well, he's not going to ever play.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, dude, He's a practice squad quarterback who just got here.
Let me ask you this. Why would he be doing – he's got 12 kids. Why would he be doing this if he's not going to?
Oh, Phillip Rivers been trying to get back in the league for years. Remember Shanahan brought him in for a workout the week before the Super Bowl? If Josh Johnson had to start the Super Bowl for them, they were going to bring in Phillip Rivers. Like, he's been thirsty about getting back into the league for years. The Colts are just the team that's silly enough, desperate enough to just let him run some second team reps. Like, that's basically what he is. He's just running practice squad.
Nate Sudfeld, Taylor Heineke, Clayton Tune, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Desmond Ridder, Tim Boyle, Bryce Perkins, Logan Woodside. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Nate Sudfeld or Taylor Heineke, maybe, but yeah.
But 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
By the way, just as a reference point, because you know I grew up in San Diego, I've literally been watching Phillip Rivers my entire life, and he's still in the NFL. Like, it is insane that Phillip Rivers, who is eligible for the Hall of Fame this year, is somehow back in the NFL.
Well, good for him and bad for the Eagles, by the way. We're about to get to what Sam Amick had to say on the Run It Back show. And Boogie was there, so that's kind of a funny kind of dynamic there. But real quick, Jalen Hurts, brother. What do we got going on? What's the thought process there? There were some drops, right? I mean, and I don't know if there would be technically drops, but A.J. Brown is going to drop, or he's going to miss at least 2 catchable balls a game. That's where A.J. Brown is at. That's why he wants 12 targets a game, because he's going to miss at least 2, and one ended with a pick. One was early on in the first quarter. Then there was that lollipop that Jalen threw, which was actually pretty well placed. Would have been a tough catch for A.J. Brown, unable to make it. Like we said, it wasn't Trey Lance. It was Justin Herbert who did play, and he ran for about 80 yards, it felt like. But the Eagles, they're done, man. And it's crazy because their defense is really good. Cooper DeJean is a bad man. And the offense, they just find new ways to lose, the Eagles do. So as far as the Niners are concerned and other NFC teams, I don't think the Eagles are better than the Niners right now. Even with the injuries, I don't think the Eagles are better than the Niners. I don't think the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. I don't think the Eagles are better than anybody really in the NFC West besides the Cardinals. I don't know where these Eagles are headed. And you know what, Kyle? Last thing before we hear from Sam Amick, I was thinking about this yesterday, because everyone is trying to evaluate Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, to me, fair or foul, is a different version of Eli Manning. These guys are just gamers, right? And I would even throw, as we were talking baseball with the winter meetings going on and free agency heating up, Madison Bumgarner. Madison Bumgarner, during the regular season, he was a good pitcher. But you get to the postseason, and he just took it to another level. And that's what Jalen Hurts is to me. He is a guy he's got the clutch gene for sure. It's the opposite of the Clayton Kershaws of the world, right? Who ball out in the regular season, and then, what we've said about some of these other, Eli's brother, Peyton. It was the opposite there. So Jalen, to me, is just a guy who is going to get to the playoffs, and then he's going to play up. But trying to evaluate him as a top 5, top 7 guy throughout the course of the season, he's just not going to be that. He needs a good team around him for sure. And then if you get him there, he will ball out for you. That was where I landed on Jalen Hurts last night. He's an Eli Manning. He's a Madison Bumgarner. During the regular season, he's going to make some bad decisions, but you get him to the playoffs, and he's going to enter that elite conversation.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is not an accurate quarterback, and he takes a lot of sacks, which is kind of funny because those are the two skill sets that all these young quarterbacks coming into the league, they talk about. Got to avoid taking the sack, got to be accurate on those short completions, and Jalen Hurts just has neither of those, but he also has incredible physical abilities and can run the ball, and you can run great play actions with him. He can throw a deep ball.
Well, by the way, he's banned to me. I mean, they got him set at 33.5. I was listening to Philly radio on the way in. Well, not on the way in, but this morning because they're so far ahead of us. And they're questioning, why is it that in overtime you saw a different burst from Jalen? I just don't really know what he is. They claim that he's a dual threat. They run like 2 running plays for him a game. He doesn't really scramble. He's not a burner, as Whitey always likes to joke me because of my baseball profile from 20 years ago. I just don't really know what Jalen Hurts is good at, which is why I just call him a gamer.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was supposed to be on that Josh Allen trajectory a few years ago. I think it was the first year they went to the Super Bowl and he finished like second in the MVP voting. He was supposed to be on that like Josh Allen trajectory. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of plateaued because he never figured out the accuracy, and he takes a lot of sacks, and also he just got into an offensive system where all you have to do is just hand the ball off. Yeah, they run the ball a lot.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, Jalen in scramble situations, it's all very set. And if it isn't set, they are the team in the NFL. They have the most 3 and outs of any team in the NFL. Right? It's very regimented. Either Saquon is going to get you ahead of the chains, or he's not going to get you ahead of the chains, and you're going to go 3 and out.
There was one decision last night. I don't know if this is a Jalen thing or this is a play calling thing, but it was tied in regulation, and they were in field goal range. It was 2nd and 10, and Jalen took a bomb to A.J. Brown to the end zone, and it was incomplete. And that was baffling. I think the Chargers had 1 timeout. It was coming out of the 2-minute warning, and I was like, you have Saquon Barkley and this offensive line. Hand the ball off, force the Chargers to call a timeout. Then you can try a 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 5. And if you pick up the first down, game's over. You just got to set up a field goal and kick it, and you win it in regulation. I just couldn't believe that they went deep bomb to A.J. Brown on a 2nd down situation.
They don't want A.J. getting mad at him.
I just couldn't understand what they were doing at the end of the game.
Yeah, and to lose that game, and I get it was a heck of an interception, but on that replay, you got Goddard just staring at you. You're already in field goal range. And by the way, I guess there's an argument to be said why they didn't take the ball first anyway, because their defense had been out there. So they could have taken the ball first, but you have an opportunity. I get it. You're trying to win the game, but you're going to lose a game on a pick trying to throw to not A.J. Brown, not Devontae Smith, who, by the way, Devontae Smith, because A.J. Brown wanted to cry, right? Devontae Smith is just a non-factor in the offense anymore. So because of that, you lose the game on a pick throwing on the run to Dotson? Dotson? What?
Yeah, man.
They're cooked. They're done.
I think the thing with the Eagles is and maybe this is a benefit to Jalen Hurts, is that they just keep switching up the system they run every year. Like in 2022, it was Steichen, who's now the Colts coach. And then 2023, like Matt Patricia was running the offense for a minute. And then last year it was Kellen Moore, and he left to go to the Saints.
There's no identity. The identity was Saquon. And I mean, this is why the whole conversation with windows is so important. The Eagles, they got one. Right? They almost jacked up their window because they did not win the first go-around when Jalen played incredible, but he had that fumble. They got back. They got hot. Other teams were dealing with injuries, sure, but the Eagles did what they got to do. They got hot, and they won one. There's a huge difference. This is what people say between a quarterback that wins 1 and 2. Number one, there's a huge difference between quarterbacks that don't win any and do win 1. But then that 1 to 2, the Russell Wilsons and the Aaron Rodgers, those guys versus the guys that are able to get 2. And I brought up Eli because he is kind of the aberration in that regard, but it's different, man. And they just better be glad. I know Howie Roseman has done a great job, and it ain't over for them, but it just looks like they have no identity. The A.J. Brown thing completely derailed them. Devontae Smith is just out there doing cardio, and it's just a disaster. On the other side, Sam Amick talks Kings, the trade candidates, as well as the state of the organization. You really don't want to miss what Sam had to say as he's talking to Boogie Cousins and the crew on the Run It Back pod. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This Sponsor the Clock is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Quiet down, there she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Kohl's Customer Appreciation Event is here, right in time for the gift exchange. Even though everyone pretends gifting isn't a competition, it kinda is. At Kohl's, save on gifts everyone will fight over. From sweaters and flannels to air fryers, toaster ovens, and more. Because deep down, the gift exchange isn't just about giving. It's also about winning. Shop Kohl's and save on top gifts now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end December 14th. See store or kohls.com for details.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. With the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
Game night in Sacramento? Light up your night at Revival at the Sawyer. This rooftop hotspot is where the city comes alive. Elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the Golden One Center. Celebrate the wins, escape the chaos, and be part of the scene before, during, and after every Kings game. Revival, the place to see and be seen. When the final buzzer sounds, the energy doesn't stop. It just moves upstairs. Join fellow fans, stay close to the action, and make every Kings night unforgettable. Book your game day reservation at RevivalSacramento.com.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Matt George joins us in 15 minutes. And yes, we are going to try video. Yes, we are going to try video, okay? For as long as we can.
As long as he doesn't talk about Vivek, we should be fine.
That's right. That's right. By the way, 1 o'clock, Tony Hinchcliffe tickets performing for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley on Friday, December 19th. We're about to hear from Sam Amick on the FanDuel pod, but Dwayne has been patiently waiting, wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up with the fellas, man? Hey, listen, I just feel like the Kings need to try something different, so I got something for you real quick. I'm taking all them old dudes and put them on the bench, and they can be the bench mob. they can come off the bench and, maybe they can give full energy that way. The only guy I'm keeping in lineup is Levine. So here's what I got, because I do not want Neat Clifford to turn into Devin Carter. So I got Neat Clifford to start lineup with Levine. I got Keegan at the 3 to free him up finally, bro. And then you got Achua at the 4 and go ahead and play Renault. So I got that 5 starting, at least to change it up and try something there, because we can't keep doing this. Put all those guys on the bench and try to get Keon some more minutes so that maybe you can include him in a trade package and get something.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dwayne. And it is a good call at this point, and that's what we want to talk to Matt George about in 15 minutes as well. Do you think Doug is going about this the right way? Because, I'm not against it. You get Keegan at the 3 right now. I also don't know what the long-term plan for Keegan is. I know it's not a huge change going from 3 to 4, but it would be nice to know how they see Keegan, because he has been playing 4. By the way, don't freak out. Speaking of Neat Clifford, he has been assigned to the Stockton Kings, but Kyle and I were discussing it. The Kings have Kyle, a couple days off. So
the Stockton Kings play Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the Sacramento Kings don't play until Thursday. So they're essentially saying instead of Neat going to practice tomorrow, he's going to go play in Stockton.
There you go. And Bishop on the Sack Chat says it's been easy money. We were talking about the Kings not covering. They were 3.5 underdogs last night, and they lost by more than 3.5. It's been easy money in Vegas. Take the other team and give up the points. I got on that 2 months ago. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like Bishop, I don't know how many, what do they say in betting, the units that you're putting down, but if you just bet against the Kings every game this season, you're probably up big. I know a lot of the betting experts, they'll do a ladder, Kyle. So you bet $5. Then if you win and you won, obviously you won, you have 10 now. Now the next day you bet 7. And now the next day you bet 10. And then the next day you bet 12, then 15. Yeah, Rob Bishop, you need to take me out for lunch, because you're probably up big, man. You're probably up big just betting against the Kings. So
you about to play the Sam stuff?
I was. Carmichael Dave is in here.
I just thought you'd want to know.
Okay.
So just tweet it out.
Okay.
Talk to sources close to the team.
Okay.
There has been no pushback from Vivek. He's 100% behind Scott Perry.
All right.
Understands the timeline. Just want to make sure you knew that.
Okay, so you're saying basically the conversation of Carmichael Dave, everyone.
Hi, sorry.
So basically with Sam, it came off like they're trying to convince, because that's how I read it. We're about to play it. We're trying to convince Vivek that it's going to have to be 3 to 5 years. You're saying, you're hearing there doesn't really have to be, and you're going to have Sam on.
Yeah, well, I'm on Thursday at 8. It's an aggregation thing. Alan and you and I kind of talked about this off the air, but I plugged in right after the show, and I just didn't want you to go on without knowing that. And the sources I talked to close to the team were like, no, dude, no, we get what's going on. He gets what's going on. There's been no pushback. He's 100% behind Scott. And it's not like Sam said something wrong or misspoke. It's just the aggregation of the whole thing and how people take it. And I understand how people take it, like, oh, God, is Vivek pushing back?
Yeah.
For what it's worth, they are emphatic, like, no, dude, he is 100%. Yeah. They get where they are.
Well, yeah, and I think the whole thing is that's what we've said, the whole 3 to 5 years. And I know you've kind of been a big proponent of going in that direction. There are no guarantees either way.
None. Zero.
So when people, say, well, we don't want Anthony Davis, we don't want Zion, okay, that's fine too, but there's no guarantee that you're going to hit on these picks. That's really been the biggest, we call them the 8-seeders. It's the fans that want to keep the 8 seed and not tank. The argument for the 8-seeders, a lot of them say, well, we don't know, or we don't trust them to, if there's 3 guys, this draft go round, right, that we've talked about before, the Kings will draft the one that doesn't end up being something, right? So that's been the fear, but it sounds like they are headed towards just attacking that fear.
And we've talked about this at length on the show. And again, I'm sorry to crash. I knew you were about to go on. Yeah. No, let's say we get a top 3 pick. I'm already going to tell you what's going to happen. So, number 1, presumptive Darren Peterson out of Kansas. We're all going to go to Thomas Robinson and the fact that Paul Pierce is like the last decent guy to come out of Kansas, probably.
Yes.
They very few, for all the success they've had, translate to the NBA. Number 2, Cam Boozer. What could go wrong with an 18-year-old power forward out of Duke, drafted with the number 2 pick by the Kings? Oh, okay, there's that.
Yes.
And then number 3, A.J. DeBonce at BYU. Jimmer Fredette, lottery pick. How many great... Danny Ainge is literally probably the best player to ever come out of BYU. No matter what, we as Kings fans are going to be gripping if we get a top 3 pick, which is a best-case scenario. You said it perfectly. There's no guarantee. They could completely screw it up. We could be in the same bad spot years from now. I'm never going to fault anybody for thinking that. But here's my pushback to them. The one thing I can guarantee right now, this team's not going to win a championship.
Right.
And nothing close to this team is going to win a championship. So if you want to win a championship, you kind of have to do this.
Yeah.
And there is a blueprint with Oklahoma City. There is a blueprint with Detroit. There is a blueprint with several other teams that have been patient and done this. That's what they're going to try to do. Scott Perry is a wartime consigliere. He turned over the entire Knicks roster in under 2 years with the exception of one guy when he was there. Knicks are very successful now after when Leon Rose and World Wide West came in. There is a blueprint, and Scott Perry's been involved in it. He was also on Sam Presti's staff back in Seattle. They know each other. So whether it's going to work or not, you can't say, I can't say, but it does appear that, and I don't think this is a protesteth too much thing, it does appear that the Kings are very adamant in saying Scott has full control of these decisions and we're in this for the long haul with no shortcuts, which is exactly where we want them to be.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, too, when discussing the moves that could get made, when you say 3 to 5 years, to me, that also means that the process to clear this thing out is not going to be, hey, we're not gonna have DeMar, Sabonis, or Levine at the end of this trade deadline. Maybe they only are able to offload one guy, and you're going into the offseason and you still have Levine and you still have Sabonis. I'm just saying DeMar because it might be the easiest to move. But the idea that, all right, we're gonna trust Scott, the process, part of the process is moving off of these guys, which I don't know is going. I would probably bet that they won't have moved off of all of these guys. Maybe you're just hoping one by the end of this trade deadline.
I think making proclamations is where it gets dangerous. I would all but guarantee at least one of those 3 won't be on the team at the end of the year. But if you do have a 3 to 5 year window, one thing that allows you to do is say, you know what, I've got a deal, but I think I can get a better deal, so I'm going to chill. Maybe Zach LaVine being expiring next year matters. Maybe they renegotiate to a longer-term deal for less money. Maybe Sabonis comes back and some center on a contending team gets hurt and they have some cap room. I mean, we don't know, but if they're rushing, that also means they could rush the deal like they did with Fox last year and we end up in this issue. I'd rather have a GM that has full autonomy so we know who to blame or who to give credit to. And if it does work out, ownership's going to deserve credit too for stepping back and saying, okay, this is the first time, Allen, in the tenure of this ownership that they have ever had a general manager that was not a rookie.
Yeah.
Pete D'Alessandro, Vlade Divac, Monty McNair, no disrespect to them. Scott Perry's old school. And so the fact that they're giving him the keys, I don't know if he's going to be good.
Yeah.
But there's no chance of it working if they don't have the keys.
Let me ask you something as a fan more so than as a host.
Sure.
So now as this thing maybe is out in the open and it's more transparent, if I'm a fan and Christmas is around the corner, the holidays are around the corner, and I'm getting ready to your boy Devlin, right, in the Zach LaVine situation, how will this affect, just an opinion for you, how will this affect ticket pricing? And people were upset that the tickets went up, but the team wasn't very good. That's the part of it when it comes to Vivek and ownership where you could say, okay, cool, if this is where we're going, then everything should represent that. And I'm just asking you as a fan.
I have no idea, and I'm just being honest, what's going to happen with pricing. I have no idea, and here's something I will never do. If a fan tells me I'm not going to support this team during a rebuild, that's your money, dude. Right. I respect the hell out of that. We get credentials, we get to go for free. There's no way in hell I'm telling somebody how to spend their money. I will tell you this is just my perspective. I went to one game last year. That was with my daughter. That was Miami. That was the double overtime win. I went to one game last year. I'm going to far more than that this year because if they are truly on a rebuild track, I respect that. I want to support them. I want to get behind the young guys. I want to support this team finally making good long-term decisions because I think this fan base and this city, more than any other fan base or any other city, deserves a long-term winner. And there's no guarantees. We keep saying that, but they're having the cojones to go in the right direction that we've been begging. A lot of us have been begging them to do for a long time. We're there. I'm going to support the hell out of them. But if somebody disagrees or does not want to do that, hat tip, nobody should have their loyalty questioned if they're a Sacramento Kings fan. Not now, not ever. If you're a Sacramento Kings fan and you see a Kings fan on a dating app, that's a green flag, brother, because you got yourself a loyal person that's willing to put up with a lot of garbage in a relationship.
Yeah.
And this has been a rough relationship.
Carmichael Dave would know best. Carmichael Dave, thanks for coming in.
Do you get credit for that extra guesty thing now in this contest because of this or not?
All I know is I'm winning.
Okay.
All I know is I'm winning.
You're always winning.
Carmichael Dave, everyone. Thank you, Dave. And from Carmichael Dave to Matt George, that is how you end a segment. Matt George joins us from ABC 10 Locked On Kings. Do not move. We are just getting started. Like I said, we have made it. These last 2 weeks, you never know what could happen, so don't move. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Western Health Advantage.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today. Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
KHD 1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
He left his, his snacks or something. So I didn't know, but he had a kind of a look on his face.
No, he had walked in here and he was like, is he talking about the thing right now? And I said, yes. And then he just went in there.
So, so great stuff from Dave. we are going to be joined by Matt George.
By the way, the video is very funny because it's just when he was first standing there at first talking to you, it's just the back of his head blocking your camera. So it's him talking while everyone just sees the back of his head and his sort of bald spot.
So great stuff from Dave. We appreciate him stopping in and dropping some more context because, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are thinking, here we go again. And Kyle, while we're waiting for Matt George to join us, why don't we just play what Sam Amick said, because we were going to play in the last segment.
But that Dave already clarified.
And then Dave already clarified what we were about to play, so here it is.
Defense. What is the morale? My former team, the Kings, they're 6-18 right now. Front office is looking to blow it up. Fans are yelling at Zach LaVine to play defense. What is the morale like in Sacramento right now?
Yeah, I mean, you've lived it, DeMarcus. It's bad, not to this degree, certainly. It's pretty bad because when they made the trade for Fox, I think the mistake they made from the fan standpoint was they really framed it like, oh, okay, well, Zach LaVine is an all-star level player and who's going to allow us to remain competitive and push for the playoffs. And when that didn't happen and not even close in the early part of the season, the fans started turning pretty bad. And now you have the shifting of the storyline and the framing, which is it's time to rebuild. So that's a tough pill to swallow. Again, something you know well is that Vivek Ranadive is an extremely involved owner, I think, to a negative degree with this franchise. And right now, GM Scott Perry is trying to keep him at bay and convince him that this might take 3, 4, 5 years to turn around. So morale is bad. The team is fighting. They fought last night. They were down big against Indiana, and Russ had a really good night, and they just kind of fell apart at the end. But it's one of those things. I think everybody in the room knows what it is, which is that the vets are going to compete and be proud and do their thing. But this roster is just completely in flux. I mean, really, you're just talking about Nick Clifford and a couple other guys who are part of the future. The rest of them, they're trying to test the market and figure out what kind of moves they can make.
So there it is. There was the quote from Sam Amick. And, yeah, I can see why Dave just wanted to give a little clarification based on whoever he spoke with. But it's always going to be something, regardless of what we hear, it's just going to have to happen. Right? I think there are enough Kings fans out there that probably will continue to be weary of the situation until you actually see it happen, right? Until you see them not get swayed in a Kyle Kuzma deal, even though, maybe that's a great example, but get swayed for a Zion, for a Ja, for somebody like that that's just going to double down, triple down, quadruple down on what they've attempted to do. And
I see what you did there.
I did nothing. So I understand why they wanted to be clear. Hey, just to clarify, and Sam is understanding of the aggregation that's just going to happen these days. But fans are going to feel weary of it until something actually goes down, or until, they make the process and they move on from. I think they don't have a choice, right? I mean, you can't keep doing this. This is the situation that I do believe some people wanted, where it was just so bad that you had no choice other than to start from scratch, right? If they had been messing around, this is exactly what, and it's not pretty, right? It's difficult to watch. And you're sitting there, you might, whether you got kids, whether you got a dog, whether it's just you or you and your significant other, you're sitting there and you're prioritizing stuff that you have to do throughout the day, right? And you're looking around and you're saying to yourself, am I really going to sit here? And I know it questions. I know Sacramento's got the best fans in the world, but you're sitting there saying, all right, they were 6-17 at the time. I'm going to sit here and lock into a 6-17 team, right, for 2-3 hours of my day when I got work in the morning. I might have work at night. I got to do this, and it's tough. And I think it was a good point that Dave brought up, the questions that are come up as far as the ticket pricing, but at least you'd be supporting a growing entity, right? A growing process. Right now, you're not supporting anything, really. You're supporting a team that you love, but those individuals, you're not building. You're not supporting something that is building up. You're not supporting a level of growth. You're not supporting any of that. So that's kind of the conundrum that a lot of Kings fans are in, and at least you would know where you're going. Now, I don't know that ticket sales are great in Washington. I don't know that ticket sales are great in Brooklyn or in Charlotte. I could almost imagine that they're not, but Sacramento is not Washington, not Brooklyn, and not Charlotte. So there's that part of it as well. And with that being said, we are joined by one of the catalysts when it comes to Kings fandom and, of course, Kings media, Matt George of ABC 10, as well as Locked On Kings. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's see if the internet will cooperate this time, but I'm happy to be with you, Allen.
I'm gonna say this: you sound clear. You sound good so far. So let's get on into it, Matt. Let's start here. I don't know if you were listening. I know you're a busy man, but Carmichael Dave came in and crashed the show about 15 minutes ago, and he wanted to crash it because he wanted to give some clarification based on what Sam Amick actually said on the Run It Back show via FanDuel versus what he's hearing and whether or not there is some push or pull with Vivek and the word of, quote, convincing Vivek that this thing is going to take 3 to 5 years. Just give me, I know you were all over it, just give me your initial reaction to when you heard it and where this thing might end up.
So I actually missed this. Mm-hmm. I didn't see this morning. So give me some context. Fill me in. What did Sam say?
Yeah. So essentially, Sam was on the Run It Back pod saying some version of Scott Perry is trying to convince, and I don't even know if he used the word convince Scott Perry or Vivek to do this 3 to 5 year rebuild versus, I think, some type of hybrid rebuild. And then Dave came in and said, there's really no convincing that needs to be done. And again, I don't know if Sam even used the word convince, but it was more so that process has already started. And then Dave came in and said, Vivek has already bought into this. And you would know better than anyone, Matt, my reaction to Dave coming in and trying to mess up our break time was a lot of Kings fans are just going to say, we will see, right? We just have to wait and see because I'll believe it when I see it type deal. So that's basically what went down.
Yeah, that's how every Sacramento Kings fan should feel, regardless of what is being said. Mm-hmm. But I can share with you what I've heard and what I've been told has been essentially the same thing, that Scott Perry took this job with full decision-making power, full autonomy to do this the right way. I don't think any sane person in their right mind would have accepted this job without very specific language, whether in their contract or between Perry and Vivek Ranadive, that this is going to take time. This is a mess that they need to clean up. And it turns out the mess was even messier than we thought, right? We thought this team was going to be much more competitive this season than they are right now. So there was an understanding that this was going to take time, that Perry was going to need time to execute everything. And then I have been assured a couple of things. One, that Perry has full and complete decision-making power here in the front office. And number two, that Vivek isn't even fully 100% aware of everything that Scott Perry is doing, right? That the Vivek hasn't had to sign off on every little decision that Perry has made. Vivek is not in every phone call or in every room when every decision is being made. That Scott is operating going forward like he is the guy. Vivek's the owner, and owners in the NBA, in professional sports, they do end up having the final say in the sense of they have to approve at the end. But most owners just approve what their general manager comes to them and presents them and says, this is what I want to do. So from what we're being told and what I understand, that's the situation here in Sacramento. But yes, every single Sacramento Kings fan who's been through the last 10 plus years should have that. I'll believe it when I see it type of attitude towards this organization.
Talking about Georgia, ABC 10 and Locked On Kings. So Kyle is working double, triple time today. So we have that 20-second clip for you, Matt, just so you can hear it. And I know people are chiming in because whenever we see Matt George is going to be on the show, we know that people are ready to hear from you, Matt. So here is Sam Amick on just a little clip about Vivek versus Scott Perry. Here it is.
The storyline and the framing, which is it's time to rebuild. So that's a tough pill to swallow. Again, something you know well is that Vivek Ranadive is an extremely involved owner, I think, to a negative degree with this franchise. And right now, GM Scott Perry is trying to keep him at bay and convince him that this might take 3, 4, 5 years to turn around. So morale is bad.
Okay, so he did use the word convince, and now I definitely understand why Dave came in and, again, whoever his sources are wanted it to be clear that Vivek is bought in. So there you go, Matt. It was spicier. I was running around and obviously Dave popped in and you were going to join us as well. But hearing it isolated like that, it was kind of spicy, Matt. If I'm a fan hearing that, I am thinking, here we go again. So I'm not really surprised that they sent Dave in here with a message to make sure fans don't start freaking out.
No, I think both things can be true. I think we know Vivek has a desire, a desperation even to be competitive. I don't think the Kings have any interest in being bad for multiple years. And on ticket sales, all they've done is raise ticket prices over the years. So I don't think that the Sacramento Kings would like to be bad and go through a full-on tear it down rebuild, even if it's staring them in the face. That being said, it's what Scott Perry needs to do. It's what needs to be done. We went through the whole De'Aaron Fox saga, and the result of the De'Aaron Fox trade was because of this far-fetched, misguided desire to still be competitive and hope to sneak into the playoffs via the play-in. And this is where it got you, right? You had an approach with trading your star and it blew up in your face.
Yeah.
It turned into an absolute disaster. They can't do that again. Perry knows that. They need to be patient.
Talking to Matt George of ABC 10. And Matt, the other thing that I wanted to talk about just as far as what's happening on the court, you said something yesterday regarding Keegan Murray. So Keegan started out really hot, talking to Matt George, ABC 10, Locked On Kings. Keegan started out really hot. We know he's getting kind of thrown around and having to defend everyone, right? That Rockets game was insane, but he is also missing open shots. I had a clip of DeMar DeRozan kind of dribbling in his office and passing up on Keegan, and people are saying, well, Keegan's shooting 28% from three. Where do you have that line where it turns into, hey, Keegan probably needs more help? I know Precious Achiuwa has been really good, but at the same time, if you're going to be a two-way guy, nights like last night, I know Pascal Siakam is a dog, but nights like last night, you cannot put up 8 points. It just can't happen.
Yeah. All right. So I can already hear the internet.
Well, we'll get you on the phone. We made it longer this time.
Yeah, he texted me his internet was dropping.
Yeah, we made it longer this time. We're going to get Matt on the phone. I think we always make it, it's like it goes too long. Because that was the same thing. It's good at the beginning and then towards the end. So I'm just working all this out on air to tell our engineers. Because it's always good at the beginning and then it kind of flips over at some point. So I'm just listening. And then, once you hit that 10-minute mark, that's what the situation has been. But it looks like Kyle is talking to Matt and is about to hand it on over. So Matt of ABC 10 and Locked On Kings, we're talking to Matt about Keegan Murray, okay, and what exactly Keegan can do to flip it over. Matt, we gotcha.
We need to have a conversation about either what software you use or what virus you're putting into my computer.
It's
when
only
you. Have me on
you.
the show.
It's only you. Okay, I'm telling you, it's only you. I'm kidding. It's been happening with everyone. Talking to Matt George of ABC 10 and Matt. Yeah, we were discussing Keegan Murray and the balance between, hey, we know you probably need more help from other players that you just don't have on the roster, but also if you're going to be a dude, you have to be a dude at all times. And the Rockets game, I'll give you a pass, but I can't give you a pass last night. 8 points, and I know Pascal's a dog, but it's a Pacers team missing a bunch of players. Tyrese ain't even playing. Obi's not playing. No Aaron Nesmith. I need more from you, Keegan. So where do you fall on that scale?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Look, I'm the biggest Keegan supporter there is, and I do think there is a natural impact on if you're playing a lot of defense and taking on a lot of responsibility on the defensive end like Keegan does. It sure does have some sort of impact on you offensively. But if Keegan wants to, I mean, this is Keegan's shot to prove that he can be more than just a high-level starting caliber two-way player. Like, this is your opportunity to be the dude. And he shot 11 attempts the last 3 games. I need that number to come up. Granted, he's been playing with when Zach LaVine dropped 42 and stuff like that, and there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. But, one, he needs to be shooting 15 times or more a game, in my opinion. And the number 2 is he needs to be knocking down the majority of the attempts that he's shooting, especially from beyond three-point range, right? It's time for you not just to show that you can be more aggressive, get more creative, and create more shots for yourself, which he's doing. Like, one of the things that stands out to me, Allen, is if you're watching as best you can through a television, Keegan's eyes, as soon as he catches the ball, he's looking at the rim. Like, he's looking to score, which is good. That he's showing that instinct that he didn't really have through the first 3 years of his career. So that part's good, but it doesn't matter if you're looking to score if you're not scoring. Right, so he needs to be putting the ball in the basket. He needs to be knocking down these shots a lot more consistently than he is on the season. Granted, 8-game sample size, not a ton, but on the season he's shooting 44% from the field. That number is low, and he's shooting 27% from three-point range. I know he's doing less like just catch and shoot, standing on the perimeter, three-point shooting and trying to shoot more off the dribble. But he's got to knock down shots, right? Or he's just not the guy that the Kings just paid $25 million or gave a $25 million per year extension to. So yeah, Keegan's got to start hitting some shots. I think he knows it. Everybody knows it. The good news is he's still got a lot of time this season to prove that he can be that. And I think he's only going to get more opportunity as the Kings try and move on from some of the other guys on this roster that take a lot of shots and need a lot of shots too. But they got to start going in at some point. Like, we're not talking about Keegan. We can't talk about him the same way we're talking about Neek and Maxime of, well, just put him up and see what happens. Now you got to put him up and you got to hit him.
Talking to Matt George, ABC 10, Locked on Kings. And the only thing I'm holding out on, Matt, is that these are only 8 games into the season. Maybe he's getting his sea legs under him. They threw him right on out there. And, that first game, I think he was in the low or high 20s, low 30s. And right after that, he's playing 38, 40 minutes. So maybe it's just taking him some time to get that all figured out. I'm looking at some of the leaders of minutes played in the league, and Luka's at 37, Austin Reeves is at 36, Cade Cunningham at 36, Amen Thompson 36, Şengün is at 35, nearly 36. So it is the upper echelon of players, and if you want to be considered that, you have to do that. So I'm holding out some hope, Matt, just because he isn't even 10 games into the season yet. But yeah, pretty soon here, if you want to be a two-way guy, I mean, Matt, I joked. I said last night it was kind of Draymond Greenish, right? 11 rebounds, defense, and hit a 3. We don't need you to be Draymond Green. We need you to hit shots. So we got to see that. As we continue on here, Matt, somebody we didn't see at all in the second half is Malik Monk. Now, Malik isn't 30 yet. He's 27, 28 years old. Doesn't really fit into any timeline with the Kings, and he's getting paid $18 a year, which is not a ton of money, but it's also not nothing. What do you make of the Malik Monk situation, Matt? Is he just collateral damage at this point? And you talk about the highlighting certain players to get their value up. Doesn't seem like the Kings really care about that with Malik. Kind of a sad ending whenever it happens because we know he wanted to be out here. But what do you make of the current situation with Malik Monk?
Well, first off, I don't subscribe to the idea that the Kings are needing to play a lot of these guys to increase their trade value by any means. Like, the league knows what these guys are. If that might be important to showcase on another side of Keegan, but Keegan is going to be the number one guy that teams are calling about because it's always been that way. And the Kings are going to probably continue to say no to whatever offers they get for Keegan. But in terms of Malik and Levine and DeRozan and even Sabonis, like, the league and general managers know exactly who those players are. So playing them extra minutes to quote unquote showcase them, like, nobody learned anything about Zach LaVine's 42-point game against the Miami Heat the other night. Like, it just doesn't matter. I don't subscribe to that line of thinking, although I completely understand, like, that's kind of been the selling point for a lot of people to, like, well, these guys got to play you got to showcase their value a little bit. No, general managers know who these guys are. In the case of Malik, I think, one, Malik's going through a little bit of a cold spell right now because he was playing really, really well not too long ago. And two is, as Doug increases the minutes for Nick Clifford and also trying to get Keon Ellis a little more burn, somebody's got to lose minutes somewhere. Now, I personally don't think that DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine should be playing more than 32 maximum minutes a night. I think Russell Westbrook playing 40 last night. Granted, Russ was cooking and he had a triple-double, and Russ is one of those guys that I think you can see on the floor, not just with how he plays, but Russ is a guy that emphasizes getting the rookies involved. You can tell how great he's been for Maxime Reynaud. He does look to try and give Nick Clifford the ball, too, when he's out there with Nick. So Russ playing 40 minutes last night, I know that's not something that's common, but you don't need these veterans playing that heavy of minutes going forward. I would much rather see those minutes in the low 30s so that you can have Malik out there for his around 20 minutes or so, and then make sure Nick is getting some burn and Keon is getting some burn. But I understand Doug's got a lot of mouths to feed on this roster, which is one of the reasons why Scott Perry needs to get to this trade deadline and get some of those mouths out of there so you can have a more established, clean, consistent rotation with consistent playing time for the rest of the season, regardless of the results. So for Malik, he is tremendously valuable. I think people should be looking at Malik the same way they're looking at DeMar DeRozan. Teams, if you need a scoring punch off of the bench, Malik and DeRozan can be your guy. Those are the two guys that I think have the most realistic trade value that the Kings will want to move on from this trade deadline. So I would be surprised if Malik is still here. But I didn't read too far into last night not playing too much. I think it was just a playing time circumstance, plus he's in a little bit of a funk right now.
Talking about George, ABC 10 Locked On Kings. Matt, I think it was a couple weeks ago you put out a very special episode of Locked On Kings where you were essentially giving your state of the union or state of the state as it comes to the Kings and what you've been hearing. And I'm curious, as we are about to hit our Kuminga quota at some point in this show, I'm curious what your thoughts are and what you've been hearing as far as the approach that the Kings will take to this rebuild. Is this a situation where you think it's going to be a bunch of draft picks, right? Or just, the 3 to 5 year timeline where, hey, we're just going to stink and we're going to get a draft pick. Do you think they will look at the second draft market? That's a Jonathan Kuminga. We saw him last night. I call him the Eastern Conference Jonathan Kuminga, Benedict Mathurin. Do you think it'll be a hybrid of that? What have you been hearing as far as their approach to this rebuild? Will it be more draft focused, or will they take some, because the Pacers kind of model, that was technically a second draft with Tyrese Halliburton. What are you hearing, or where do you think they will go in that direction?
Yeah, I don't think Scott Perry would, and I haven't been told explicitly from anybody, like set or put that sort of set path in front of himself, right? I think, to me, the Kings we're in this evaluation phase, which I just, like Kings fans, roll our eyes at this point, because we all know what this team is. The evaluation has been done. We know what's working, what's not, and the vast majority of this roster is not working. So I think the general belief or general understanding from this organization is that the most likely path to any sort of improvement, and certainly the most likely path to getting a star and a new foundational piece to build around, is going to be through the draft. I don't think you're going to see Perry do anything that costs him any of the Sacramento Kings draft capital going forward. That being said, just like with the John Morant situation or whatever's happening, I think the Kings will always kind of send a call out or poke their head into any kind of conversation that potentially does involve a young star that's available. But like we saw in the Kuminga negotiations going all the way back to the summertime, like the Kings are not going to do anything extreme and rush anything that doesn't make sense. And in the case of Kuminga, it was, well, Kuminga is a good young player that we would love to have and the Kings could certainly use, and he would give us a building block going forward. But we're not a Jonathan Kuminga away from being a championship team or a playoff team right now. So, no, we're not going to give you more than what the initial offer was. And now that the Kings have gone through this season and it's played out the way that it has, it's further proof that, yeah, we have a long way to go. So a unprotected first-round draft pick from the Sacramento Kings for any year is extremely valuable, because if there's anything that the Kings are consistent with in the NBA, it's consistently a lottery team.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would be shocked at this point if the Kings included draft capital in any sort of deal. I don't think they have any interest in attaching draft capital to a Sabonis or Levine contract in order to get off of it. It wouldn't make any sense anyways, because the Kings are not exactly a free agency destination to put themselves in a financial position to go and make a big swing at a big name free agent. So I think they know that what they've failed to do so many times in the past, they got to get this right through the draft. They got to hit their draft picks. So to me, draft picks are the hottest commodity to this organization right now.
Matt George, thank you so much for joining us, man. You know, I don't. We talk about a hybrid rebuild. I don't mind our hybrid interviews, right? Half video, half phone. Little bit of every platform going on here. We lasted longer on video than last time, so we appreciate you, Matt. We know you're running around. You got high school football going on and a bunch of different stuff. Obviously, the Kings. So really appreciate it, man. Happy holidays. We'll be talking. I owe you a couple text messages, and you owe me a date on the golf course. So let's make it happen soon, man.
Dude, I got to play golf. I haven't played golf in so long. I definitely need to get back out there. And next time, just send me an email with the questions. I'll just type the answers, and you can just read them on the air. We'll just do that.
I'm sure there's an AI that it could come off in your voice as well. So maybe
that's horrifying.
I'm just it very well might be. Matt George, you can catch him on ABC 10 as well as Locked On Kings. Matt, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, brother.
On the other side, let's hear what Sam Amick had to say about the Kings trade candidates, as there might be a path for the Kings to get back to contention quicker than that 3 to 5 year timeline. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
When a person is serious seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton and Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton and Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This Sponsor the Clock is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Great stuff from Matt George. You can catch him on ABC 10. You also catch Kevin John. I normally, what is it after a Monday night? I think it's after the Monday night game. It's always Kevin. Normally see Kevin after that.
Well, he always does the 11:30 news also.
Yeah.
Because Kevin John, I always see him like late. He probably works like the 4 to midnight shift over there.
Yeah. So shout out to both of them. And thank you, Matt George, for joining. Here you go. So there is a lot of clearing up going on here. So Dave, I think he posted this right before. Yeah, it was at 10:44 a.m. So this is right before he barged in. Quote, I have been told emphatically that Scott Perry has full and emphatically is in all caps, that Scott Perry has full and all caps control of the timeline and that Vivek is 100% behind him. There has been zero, all caps again, pushback according to multiple sources close to the team. Then Sam Amick at 11:11, somebody make a wish, a.m. says, to be clear here, there is no pushback from Kings owner Vivek Ranadive regarding their current plan. The point, which was said in a big picture sense, is that Scott is making it clear from the top on down that they need to be very patient and prudent here. So it's all out now. That's what Dave said. Then that's what Sam Amick said. And the first comment under Dave's was, then why sign Schroeder? I can understand Russ, but I don't get signing Schroeder if you're trying to rebuild. It's a great question. It's a great question, but I do still think, and Kyle, of course, 1 minute ago from this guy, Shredberg, I'm just scrolling. This guy has me blocked. I don't know. Whenever I scroll, I just see random people that have blocked me. I don't know why. But somebody says, then why sign Schroeder? And Shredberg and others that haven't blocked me, as well as Shredberg who did, they are just kind of trying to explain why he did it. And I think, yeah, the bottom line with the Schroeder thing, and we've been over it, the Schroeder and Westbrook thing was just a miss. But initially, the Schroeder thing was just because they thought maybe there was a chance this team could sneak into the playoffs. I just think it was that simple. Hey, let's get a point guard. It was almost a last-ditch effort for the vets, right? Let's get Sabonis. Let's get DeMar. Let's get Zach LaVine. Let's get them a point guard and see if they go on a run very similar to what we're seeing from the Suns. That's just what it was, and it didn't work. And what's funny is they didn't even – because correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, the season did start before they got Russ, right? So – They had a couple games.
No, it was 8 days before the season.
Okay.
It was during training. It was after a preseason game.
Right. So they thought that they would be good, and that was the ultimate miss. I don't know how you think that you commit to Dennis Schroeder for even 2 years at $15 million and then end up having to still sign Russell Westbrook. And now Dennis Schroeder is on the bench. That's the biggest miss. But I think when they initially signed him, they simply thought, let's get these guys a point guard and see if we can make a quick run before we do our full teardown. And because we've seen that before. Teams, hey, we won, we got to a playoff series and got destroyed by the Thunder, and now we're going to blow it up. That's what that was. Even though it's a 3-year deal, 2-year full-on guaranteed commitment, I think they feel like Schroeder's pretty easily tradable, and it just didn't work.
Well, remember, the initial plan was get Schroeder and move Malik Monk, and that was supposed to clear up the guard logjam. And then the Pistons didn't take Malik Monk, and so they pivoted to moving Valanciunas, which, again, they said they needed a point guard, and that's what it took to get a point guard. But if the original plan had stuck and the Pistons had been willing to take Malik Monk, you would be looking at a team that would have cleared up the guard logjam, because then you would have had, but for better or for worse, you would have cleared up the logjam because you would have been left with only LaVine, DeRozan, Neek, and Keon Ellis, and Devin Carter, who wouldn't have played anyways. And you would have still had Valanciunas. Now, did they move Valanciunas because that created opportunity for Drew Eubanks and Maxime Reynaud? Possibly also, but the initial plan was to move Malik Monk, and then they pivoted to this Jonas Valanciunas for Dario Saric swap. So I don't even think the Dennis Schroeder signing went exactly the way they had intended it would when they first made it.
Yeah. Here's a quick question, and I can't wait to do this later because it would almost be a poll question. Who will be the starting point guard for the – I just randomly thought of this. Who will be the starting point guard for the Kings in the 2026-2027 season?
Like opening night?
Opening night. Your options are Dennis Schroeder, I guess Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Other, which would be a Darren Peterson or a draft type.
Let's just say rookie.
Yes, rookie, and then the other option would be other vet, which would be Ja, Trae Young. So A, Dennis Schroeder, B, Russell Westbrook, C, rookie, D, other vet. What would you say right now?
If I had to guess, I would go rookie 1, Westbrook 2, I guess. I don't know. The Schroeder one is weird. I don't know. Would he come off if he's still on the team, would he come off the bench? Do they move him back to the starting lineup?
I'm holding out. I don't want to say hope because that sounds disrespectful, but I still think Schroeder could get moved this season. I still think that a Rockets or somebody like that, because Schroeder to me could get moved, but if he doesn't get moved, that's my answer, Kyle. It's not going to be Westbrook, in my opinion. I think Westbrook would have done his thing. Now that I say it out loud, well, he's playing so well, but I think that Schroeder would be better once they start to fully integrate into wanting to get these guys to the next level and wanting to develop these guys. I think Schroeder is a better fit because even though he's kind of score first, he can do more. I know Russ will have high assists, but he's also very high usage. I think Schroeder, even though you're paying him more, you're paying him more to kind of do less. And I just believe that would make more sense than the Russ show. I don't know. Once you're really developing, I don't think you need the Russ show anymore.
Yeah, I guess I should change my pick because Schroeder at least is under contract for next year versus Westbrook is not under contract for next year. And unless Russell Westbrook has no other suitors, why would Russell Westbrook come back to Sacramento?
Right.
I guess that's the part that I guess my first pick would be Schroeder only by the odds of him being on the team. But honestly, like if they pick a rookie, why would you not play the rookie as a point guard when your team is so desperate for point guard play?
I just don't see Schroeder making it through the next 2 years. I think he either gets moves at this trade deadline, gets moves in the summer, or next trade deadline. But my guess would be Schroeder 1, rookie 2, Westbrook 3, and a vet 4.
When you say vet, are you specifically talking about like the Ja Morant, LaMelo types?
Yeah, like a retread.
Because like if it's Trey Jones, does that also count as a vet?
No.
Okay.
No. But if it's his brother...
Trey is the one you want. Tyus is the bad one.
Yes, that's right. Tyus is older now. They're both good, but they're both decent.
I'm not deep in the Orlando Magic Twitterverse, but every time I see it, they're just like, why is Tyus Jones on this team? Every time.
I hear you. On the other side, we will hear from Sam Amick on the trade candidates, and we give you a path for the Kings to be better before 3 to 5 years. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Western Health Advantage.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's holiday food drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you are a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Brett Siegel of Clutch Points is going to join us in 15 minutes, okay, to talk Kings, of course, Jonathan Kuminga, what that looks like, what a potential deal could be. So that's coming up in 15 minutes. You don't want to miss that to kick off the 12 o'clock hour. By the way, I feel like I haven't been promoting it enough. I know the ads have been running for it during the breaks, but yes, I will be one of the hosts. Last time there was two. I know we got rained out last year. Hopefully that's not the case, but the Santa Parade down in Doco, I will be emceeing that Santa Parade.
What didn't Verlad do it also?
I think it might be me and Verlad or Verlad and I this time around, but it was supposed to be Draper and I last year. That got rained out. That would have been hilarious, but last year got rained out. They asked me to do it again. I know you've been hearing the ads, but if you are going to be at the Santa Parade, I just got a very special text from a very special individual from the River Cats, okay? And the River Cats will be out there. Dinger will be there. Dinger will be there as well. And the one year I did do it, it was cold as hell. I'm just going to tell you right now. Kyle, you were out there with Simone and the crew. It was cold, man.
Yeah, it's going to be cold again this year. By the way, I think that's the first time I met your daughter as well, too, which is kind of crazy now that she's much older than when she was a little tiny baby.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll be meeting the second one because, she's only 2.5 months. I was talking to somebody in
Can't
sales.
Take her out in the cold?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody in sales earlier, and my oldest, she was, I don't know, maybe even already a year at that point, but the little one being 3 months. It's cold, man. It's not a game. So I might be out there solo dolo. So if you run into me or if you see me, just come say what's up. And we really appreciate that. Somebody reached out to me on social media. It's funny. We were joking about Spotify Wrapped, and somebody had me as their number one podcast on their Spotify Wrapped. So I really appreciate it, man.
Don't forget my podcast.
No, you better not. You better not. And I want to give him a shout out. It was,
by the way, 53 degrees on Saturday.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm gonna be bundled up. I'm gonna look like a tubster because I'm gonna be bundled up. But shout out my guy Antonio who reached out to me on social media. I was the number one podcast to listen to, so we appreciate it, man. We really do. And yeah, some numbers came in from November. I know Dave kind of does the numbers thing, and we don't talk about it too much. But yeah, if you would have told me that we'd be here after a couple years, and there was some pushback when there's still pushback now, but if you had told me we had been here when I first started and a lot of people just kind of questioning some of the decisions, things like that, just trust the process. And that's what we want the Kings to do. And we thought that we had some good stuff working here. And, it's worked out. It's worked out pretty well. And we're just getting started. This is a huge week for us, like we keep talking about this week, next week. And then that's kind of when the break ends or starts for people. We'll still be on air, but kind of how things are calculated and things like that. That's how it goes. So we really appreciate everybody reaching out and supporting us. And even if you hate on us, right? Because you make me work harder. When I see a text, I did that show with Whitey and somebody, because I'll respond, and somebody said, no, he's in the afternoon now. I thought I could avoid him. So I appreciate that stuff too, man. Especially if it's funny. If you're going to make fun of me, at least be funny. I saw this bit that somebody did up in Denver, Kyle. It was either Denver or it might have been Seattle, where they read, kind of like Jimmy Fallon, they read mean tweets. And I'm wondering, or read texts that they get from listeners. I'm wondering if they're appropriate, if we should do something like that in the new year. Because I'm responding anyway.
Yeah, I think that's better than you always fighting with texters, which, by the way, the new texting platform, I can't see as clearly when you're fighting with the texters.
Good. Yeah, I can do it in a separate DM so you can't see. So appreciate everybody, man. And we're just getting started, and 2026 is going to be the biggest one yet, and we couldn't do it without all of you. All right, Kyle, let's hear from Sam Amick and what he has to say as far as the trade candidates. Here it is.
So Zach, DeMar, Sabonis, they're all in the trade rumors. 1, 2, or all of them are moved by the deadline, you think?
Yeah, it should be easy enough for DeMar to find a new home, I think, because what he brings. His contract next year is it's tricky because he's got $10 million out of $25 million guaranteed. It's a partial guarantee. There was I reported on the Clippers' interest. I think that's challenging to get done, but he just feels like a guy that a contender could go pick up to try to add to what they're doing. The Zach thing is hard, man. Like it's just such a big number. And, there's been reporting that the Bucks have done some kind of quiet research on Zach. They've had interest in the past. That's the only real concrete team that I'm aware of that is even analyzing Zach's situation. So, I mean, to me, that one's hard. And then Domantas is a really big number too. And he's not only a big number, I think you would argue that his market is better than the other two guys. But the problem, like you guys were talking about Minnesota earlier and the way they function, right? With Julius Randle and kind of, a big run in the offense. That's Domas at his best, but there's only so many teams in the league that I think have any interest in having their offense be centered around a guy like that. So I've talked to his camp recently. It does not sound like they anticipate being moved at the deadline. It's more a message of patience. And he really likes living in the area. And as far as quality of life, he's doing okay. But that's why Scott Perry is asking for a long runway and a lot of patience here, is because the market for their guys, I don't think, is great.
So no untouchables, though. Everyone's on the table, or you think those couple young guys are kind of being held out?
Keegan Murray. I mean, they love Keegan. They just paid him. Now, if you have a chance to really make a difference, and this is me talking, their message is that Keegan is untouchable, but we all know that there's a threshold there for all but one or two guys in the league. They just paid him, right? Like they gave him the big contract where, he really paid him like a 1 or a 2 guy when, to this point, last year he was more a 3 or a 4 guy. And so, that is a guy that they're invested in. Keon Ellis is probably market-wise, who they're going to have no problem finding suitors for. I talked to somebody yesterday about, the Lakers are looking for a 3-and-D type guy. Could it be Keon? Could it be a Herb Jones? Somebody like that. So, you can find a suitor for Keon, but how much does that move the needle in terms of what's coming back for the Kings trying to turn this thing around?
Wow. Keon in a Laker jersey, it's been hard enough, man. And you're not getting Rui, but that's what I'd want.
No, any Keon trade, you're kind of shooting for a draft pick or a second draft guy.
Yeah, because that money. And I do wonder, Kyle, would you do...
Oh, Lakers 27th pick in the draft this year.
Would they? Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do it. You're stuck having to do it because he's not playing anyway.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's of the opinion you trade with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's your rival or someone you don't like.
Oh, no. I'm saying I know how Kings fans are. I would do it.
No, but there's plenty of people who are in the camp of you don't trade with your rival no matter what. And I'm one of those people that says your job is to get the best offer. It doesn't matter what team.
I think when it turns into the Kings, you kind of have, and this is with multiple teams, not just the Kings, you almost have too many rivals. Okay, we can't trade with the Warriors. We can't trade with the Lakers. All right, well, we got to make, then you can't trade Western Conference. Like, you got to make some deals here.
I kind of think, though, that's it. It's just Warriors and Lakers. For the older generation, it's Lakers. For the newer generation, it's Warriors.
Yeah.
In terms of who the rival is. Because I make the point, it could be the other way. What if that 27 pick in a theoretical trade becomes the next Jokic, and all of a sudden the Kings franchise has been changed forever thanks to the Lakers?
Yeah. You have to do it. If they're willing to give you the 27, now, Sam didn't even mention that. So I don't think he believes that would be the case. And we spoke with Keith Smith yesterday about that. You can check that out on social media as well on YouTube. But yeah, I'm okay with moving Keon if they're just not going to play him. And we know, and this is what Keith said, the front office likes Keon. It's just right now it seems like Doug isn't able to get there with Keon and get him on the floor. So that's a problem, right? That's quite the problem. Some of the other guys, I know they brought up Keegan Murray, and they really want to push Keegan into that situation. When we talked to Brett Siegel, we had gone back and forth about the idea of a buyout with DeMar DeRozan. Seems like that shouldn't be an issue. The Dennis Schroeder thing, though, I don't think it's – I think I'm smelling something. I just think I'm smelling something with Dennis Schroeder. And this is why Scott Perry thought it was a fair decision to make because somebody's always looking for Dennis Schroeder. I know Reed Shepherd has been playing well for the Rockets, but some of these teams that are I look at the Timberwolves, right? I look at the Timberwolves. I just saw, Kyle, did you see this? Bones Highland? No, I'm not kidding. Bones Highland has leapfrog Rob Dillingham
in the rotation.
It's bad.
Oh, that's a problem.
We need an all practice footage team, right? Where we get Keon, Devin, Rob Dillingham, all these guys that just can't get on the floor. I need to see practice tape on just an all-league practice team. That's all I need. I need all league footage practice team.
Yeah, just like Dillingham, what are you doing?
Dillingham, what are you just trying to boogie? Like, you're not at Kentucky. You can't keep doing that. All right? You have to defend at some point. That's what I need because, yeah, they're saying Bones Highland has taken Rob Dillingham's point guard minutes, which means that you should definitely be. I think Schroeder would be great for the Timberwolves, honestly.
No, I don't.
I do.
I don't.
No, I do, and so do you.
I don't.
Don't let me open up the trade dungeon. All right, when we return,
you want Mike Conley?
Speaking of trades, Brett Siegel joins us to break down everything going on with the Kuminga situation. We hit our Kuminga quota, and we asked Brett, does a Malik Monk deal seem fair? We also get into some of the other names that may or may not be available. Don't move. It's going to be a really good one here in the 12 o'clock hour as we hear from Brett Siegel, National NBA Insider for Clutch Points. Down South, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
The Sactown Sports 49ers report is being brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco improves to 9-4 with a road-winning Cleveland 26-8. Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy both rushed for touchdowns in the victory. The defense was stellar, forcing 2 fumbles and holding Shadur Sanders to just 115 yards passing. Next up for San Francisco is Tennessee. You can catch all the action on Sunday, beginning at noon, right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then You may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
About to be joined by Brett Siegel of Clutch Points. I mean, look, I already fired it up. Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham, for Schroeder and Devin Carter. Just get it done.
I would do that. I don't think Minnesota would.
Here, have a second. Have a second and scram. 916-339-1140. We are joined by Brett Siegel, National NBA insider and reporter for Clutch Points. Brett, thank you so much for joining us, man. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, Alan, it's nice to talk to you again. And, yeah, it's Tuesday, end of the week, heading out to Vegas for the NBA Cup. And right after that, we're going to be in the midst of trade season. So a lot's happening right now.
Okay, so let's start there. Brett, do you think, because we met in Summer League, it was really nice finally getting to meet you in person. So you're headed out to Vegas again. Obviously, Summer League is a different beast, but do you think that there will be some rumors? You got the winter meetings going on for Major League Baseball and deals being done basically every hour. Do you think that there will be a good level of intel that you'll run into out there in Vegas during the NBA Cup, or is it more just the teams that are playing and figuring out who's going to win the whole thing and try to avoid touching the Michelob Ultra?
It's definitely not as much. Obviously, the teams that are there, you'll get a better grasp of kind of the positioning that they're in and their ideology heading in to the December 15th deadline, as we like to call it, when a lot of players become trade eligible from this past offseason from signing deals. But the main focus really is December 19th to the 22nd, and that's the G League Showcase down in Orlando, where every team will be at. A lot of executives will be down there, and that's really where you can say, in quotes, the NBA winter meetings really happen, and that's where deals get done. That's where a better idea of what the trade market looks like for all the teams around the league and kind of what's forming there. So there will be a better idea of what's going to happen with Giannis after that date. There's going to be a better idea of what the Mavericks are thinking with Anthony Davis. And then obviously once those two big dominoes fall and we have a better idea what's going to happen there, we'll be able to kind of tell the tale for what's going to happen with these other teams with lesser players and smaller contracts. So these next 2 weeks are very important, but I would definitely say that the G League Showcase definitely trumps whatever we're going to hear out in Las Vegas.
Talking to Brett Siegel, National NBA insider for Clutch Points. Well, let's start here, Brett. It didn't take very long. What did we even get 3 months before Jonathan Kuminga's agent was tweeting and Jonathan Kuminga getting DNPs with Steph Curry not even playing? Give us the newest update you have on Jonathan Kuminga, and I guess what is the value the Warriors, a lot of people are saying the Warriors maybe fumbled the bag on this one. What is the value right now with Jonathan Kuminga in a potential deal? Where do you see this thing going, and when do you possibly see it happening?
Well, I'll answer it like this. I don't think they necessarily fumbled the bag, and the main reason for that is because if you traded him in the offseason, you would have had to follow the base year compensation rules. So you would have been sending out his salary in a sign-in trade. You only would have been able to absorb 50% of it coming back in incoming salary. And so you couldn't really get the value that you were looking for if you're the Warriors there in the offseason. Now, has his value changed? Possibly, and that's one of the topics that we're really going to dive into throughout the month of December. Really talked with executives and teams around the league of what they feel about this guy and who would even be interested. But if you're the Warriors, you had to get that $20+ million salary slot just so you have a buffer to be able to go out and make a move to improve your roster. They have that. They have young talent like Moses Moody and Brandon Pajemski to sweeten a deal if they want to. They have draft picks if they wanted to include those for a potential bigger name, whether that be a Herb Jones or Trey Murphy from the New Orleans Pelicans. But he's certainly on the trade block. I know that we've wrote about it before, how they're not just going to trade him. But at this point, with how everything's looking, it's very clear that he does not want to be there anymore, and Steve Kerr doesn't want to even play him anymore. This is going to be something that teams watch heading into January once he becomes trade eligible on January 15th. And once he does, I don't think it's going to be long after that date where the Warriors have a deal for him. And whether that's a send him to an Eastern Conference team, a Western Conference team, there's still plenty of weeks to figure that out. But it does seem like that Jonathan Kuminga's time with the Warriors has come to an end.
Talking to Brett Siegel, National NBA Insider for Clutch Points. So, yeah, Brett, you had Mark Spears yesterday say that the Kings no longer are going to include a first-round pick in a deal, which would leave just Malik Monk, right? From what you have understood so far from the Jonathan Kuminga situation, does it sound like the Warriors would look at that and see fair value, or would they prefer to pay more to get something back like a Trey Murphy? I know you wrote about the Pelicans wanting a potential young player, young star, and draft compensation as well. Do you think the Warriors are more likely to pay more to get back a Trey Murphy versus fine, we'll go with Malik Monk and save that draft capital? I guess it kind of feels like, is this about wanting to have something left for when Steph is done, or truly going all in and saying, hey, we'll spend more, right, on a potential Trey Murphy or whoever. I know they kind of wanted Giannis as well, deal like that, versus saving the draft picks for when Steph is done, but only getting back somebody like a Malik Monk. Where do you think they'd be headed as of right now?
Golden State will certainly pay more if there's a player on the table that they feel pushes them over the edge in terms of being a championship contender, whether that's Herb Jones, whether it's Trey Murphy. We'll see kind of what happens there and what develops over the next few months, because they are still evaluating their roster as well, and they're getting production from some of those guys that are the unlikely heroes. I mean, Pat Spencer's a guy on a two-way contract right now, and he's been their best player over the last week with Steph out. So we'll see kind of how this roster develops and who really proves themselves and steps into a bigger role, because that will kind of tell the tale of what position that they're really going to want as well. And Malik Monk, he's another guard. It just does not seem like that is a position that they're going to be looking to add in. If anything, they're going to be looking to sweeten a deal with Kuminga by whether that's including Brandon Pajemski or one of these other guards on their roster. But unless that is the only offer out there as a Malik Monk, Sacramento Kings trade, and the Warriors just want this to end, that's the only way I can see them really accepting that package. But they do not want Malik Monk. He's not a player that they had interest in the offseason, and that has continued into this season. I just don't see any deal that is going to be just the Kings and the Warriors. If Kuminga is going to end up in Sacramento by the trade deadline or before then, it's going to have to be a multi-team trade, because the assets that the Kings have just isn't what the Warriors want contractually and player-wise. So that's something that Kings fans would have to watch, is what other teams could potentially get involved here. Where could we ship a guy like Malik Monk? Where could we ship DeMar DeRozan? Is Domantas Sabonis going to be on this roster once he comes back healthy? So there's still a lot of question marks that Sacramento has to answer, and we're going to get some answers to those questions over the course of the next 4 weeks, not only with Sabonis getting healthier, but also as these guys play more and as teams around the league kind of figure out what direction they want to head in.
Talking to Brett Siegel, National NBA Insider for Clutch Points. Yeah, Brett, speaking of DeMar DeRozan, I know the term has been used, it's a pseudo-expiring contract. Where do you see, I'm of the mindset, I don't necessarily need the Kings to get back a ton for DeMar DeRozan. I'm more interested in just moving forward, no disrespect to him. But where do you see DeMar DeRozan's value in a potential deal, what the Kings could get back for him?
I think that he's going to be in one of those deals that is a multi-team trade, and I think that's going to be kind of a throw-in where his salary is needed for the Kings to get something done that they're obviously eyeing, whether it's Kuminga, whether it's something else, just to get back future draft compensation or to move a guy like Malik Monk and Keegan Ellis. Maybe you include DeMar DeRozan in one of those trades just to take back some expiring salaries or second-round picks or whatever it be. But I do think that there's going to be some value around the league in DeRozan, especially near the trade deadline when teams are a lot more desperate. there's going to be some contending teams or some playoff, borderline playoff teams that need an extra score and need a veteran presence in their locker room. And I think that you're going to see DeRozan get thrown into one of those trades. So just one scenario that can come to mind off the top of my head here is if Giannis decides to stay with the Bucks, that's probably a destination that they're going to say, you know what, getting a guy like DeMar DeRozan makes a lot of sense because you can try to compete this year. You can bring in a guy that can be a number 2, number 3 scorer next to Giannis and Miles Turner. And then obviously you can kind of see how things play out there if you're the Bucks. Another situation I know that's been mentioned multiple times, the Los Angeles Clippers. Whether or not that actually happens really depends on what angle the Clippers want to go this season. Will Kawhi Leonard and James Harden remain there? We just can't get a firm answer on that at this time. And then obviously the big piece that the Clippers have that strong, significant interest right now is Ivica Zubac. And there's a lot of interest from Eastern Conference teams that are looking for front court upgrades right now in Zubac. And there would obviously be some Western Conference teams as well that would be interested in the 28-year-old center. So Clippers are kind of in one of those waiting periods. I think that's one of those big dominoes waiting to fall around the league of what direction is Steve Ballmer and Lawrence Frank going to take this organization. And if they are still in with this core of Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, they're going to be looking to make moves to try to win right now instead of just selling pieces off. So that could be another situation where you view a guy like DeMar DeRozan, you bring him in. If it doesn't work out and you don't succeed as a team, you just dump him in the offseason with that pseudo expiring contract. So there's a lot of teams that we're still kind of waiting to see. That will kind of dictate the market for these Kings players, especially DeMar DeRozan.
Talking to Brett Siegel, and Brett of Clutch Points, you brought up a name and it just made me think. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis isn't playing right now, but you brought up a name in Ivica Zubac. Would you say, I understand that with the second apron, everybody is just very weary of how much money they're spending and what they're putting on their books. Would you say that the Ivica Zubac market is stronger than Domantas Sabonis just based on the fact that he gets paid half of what Domantas Sabonis gets paid, or am I overstepping?
No, you're not at all. 100%. There's significantly more interest in Zubac, not only because of the contract size, but also just because of the type of player he is. I mean, Zubac was an all-defensive talent last season. He took a major step in the right direction as one of the league's most improved players. And he's the type of guy that you can put at the top of the arc. He's not going to shoot, but he can help set screens. He can help facilitate your offense. And he can play in a lot of different systems, especially with another big man. That's kind of where the questions lie with Domantas Sabonis is, if he got traded to a team that already has an established center, would he be willing to be a power forward? How would that work out? Is his style of play going to clash with other centers around the league? And then obviously that contract that he's on, he's making $42 million this year. In 2027, when he's going to be in the final year of his contract, he's going to be at $48.5 million. And that's a lot of money for a team to take on the books right now, given how much concern there is about clearing space for the first and second aprons and being able to play around in the offseason with whether that be trade talks or free agency and having access to your mid-level exceptions. So any team that would potentially pursue Sabonis is giving away all that flexibility. Any team that trades for Zubac and potentially adds him to their roster would still have access to all those amenities. So that's kind of why the Zubac contract and his player mold is so valuable right now around the league.
Yeah, and, Sam Amick was on, we've been talking about it all show long because he was on the Run It Back pod and had brought up this idea of the 3 to 5 years. And that's kind of how I see it, Brett. You got Zach LaVine, who has at least one, next season changes things because it'll be expiring. But between Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis, I just don't see a world, and why they bring up the 3 to 5 year timeline. I do not see a world, Brett, and tell me if you do. I know teams can get desperate, but I just don't see a world where the Kings are able to move off of, if you look at it as a big three, DeMar and Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine, I don't really see a world where they can move off of both of them, specifically this trade deadline. I really just see DeMar DeRozan, and then you figure the rest out as you get into the summer, where at least at that point, Zach LaVine would be officially expiring.
Right. Yeah, I think that there would be a little bit of interest from, I would probably say 3 to 4 teams for LaVine ahead of this trade deadline, even with that contract size, simply because next season he's going to be in the final year of his deal. He'll opt into that $48 million player option, and then there'll be an expiring contract. And for the type of scorer he is, he could easily fit in with several contending teams around the league right now. It's just a matter if they're willing to give up the contracts on their end to bring in a player like LaVine. DeRozan, we talked about, again, he's going to be on an expiring contract next season. You could even dump him with that partial guarantee if you wanted to, if you traded for him at this trade deadline. And then heading into the offseason, if you just want to free up that money and you're willing to eat the $10 million, you could do so with DeRozan. It's just different with Sabonis. Unless there's a team out there that genuinely has interest in his style of play and sees him as their center of the future, that's really the only way Domantas Sabonis gets traded at this deadline. It's not like teams are going to look at him and be like, you know what, we can kind of take a chance here. We can take a flyer on him. And if things don't work out, we can just move on. Well, you're going to be locked into him for the next 2 to 3 years, unlike Zach LaVine, unlike DeMar DeRozan. So that's kind of where the Kings' value lies. I think it would be much easier for them to move both LaVine and DeRozan at this trade deadline than it would be anybody else on their roster.
Talking to Brett Siegel, a name that we haven't brought up a lot, Brett, and he's going to be available starting on the 15th of December, is Dennis Schroeder. So Dennis Schroeder, he's been out with that hip. But I don't know, Brett. It just feels like we haven't talked about him enough. He's another guy where I think he was brought in early on to see if the Kings could essentially do what the Suns are doing and prove some people wrong. They ended up not being able to do that. Now he does not fit any timeline here. Brett, I'm looking at the Timberwolves. I'm looking at the Rockets. I know Reed Shepherd has played well, but where do you think this thing could go for Dennis Schroeder? Are you hearing anything yet? Just as it pertains to him, he gets leapfrogged by Russell Westbrook on an expiring contract. Where do you think this thing goes for Dennis Schroeder on a pretty tradable contract?
Not much that we're hearing about Schroeder right now. Obviously, he signed that 3-year deal in the offseason. He'll become trade eligible before the trade deadline. And where could he potentially fit? Obviously, you brought up Minnesota. That's a known team that needs a point guard, and the Houston Rockets obviously need one too. But the Rockets have their back up against the wall with the first apron hard cap. They don't really have a means to improve their roster by getting a big contract. So I would rule that out. If anything, for the Rockets to add a player, whether that be free agency when the contracts would be lowered later in the season, that's an option for them. Or maybe they even take a look at Chris Paul since he's going to be on a minimum contract and they could give up a minimum contract in exchange for him. That's kind of what I'm looking at for the Rockets to improve their backcourt depth. I don't think that they're going to go after a guy like Dennis Schroeder who still has 2 more years left on his contract after this season. It would just be a short-term thing there. But you look at some of these situations around the league and some of those big-name all-star point guards that we're hearing in the trade market, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, John Morant. If one of them get moved, maybe there's a way that you could easily slide Schroeder into a deal and send him to one of those teams that gets rid of a star guard, and they could use him in the short term, and maybe you get back something out of that. So, again, it's similar to what we were describing with DeRozan, Allen, where have other trades happen around the league, and then the Kings can get involved and say, well, hey, we got this kind of contract for matching purposes. We can give you DeRozan. We can give you Dennis Schroeder if you'll give us 1 or 2 second-round picks. I think that's kind of how the Kings need to operate at this point because they're sellers, but nobody is really rushing to their store to buy these guys. It's just going to be a matter of where they can find value and where they can fit in.
It seems like every year there's somebody who hijacks the trade market or the free agency. You had KD, and that was this offseason, even though he was traded. And it feels like it's been Giannis before, but no, for real this time, as we talk to Brett Siegel. Brett, are we going to have to wait for this Giannis thing for any other deals to happen? Is that the big domino, or could other deals happen outside of Giannis? Are we going to be stuck waiting for him? Feels like we have before, even though he never went anywhere. But are we going to have to wait for him to be moved before anything else turns out?
That's kind of how I'm operating on the mindset right now, and everybody that I talk with around the league, other executives, they want to know first, is Giannis actually available? Because there have been teams calling the Bucks, and the answer that they've gotten back is that Giannis is not available right now. So unless Giannis requests a trade and he firmly tells John Horst and the Bucks that, yes, he does not want to play there anymore, he wants to go somewhere else, that's kind of the holdup. Until that happens, the Bucks aren't going to make any significant changes. They're not going to be going to teams saying, give us your best offer for Giannis, and they're not going to be accepting offers for Giannis. And teams that are interested in him, they're not then going to make other moves because they want to actually know, does Giannis want to be there past the February 5th trade deadline? So until that domino falls, we're not going to really see anything else. So you could see 1 or 2 small moves that don't really have any bearing over teams that would be pursuing Giannis. Maybe it's rebuilding teams that are swapping draft picks or something like that, or the Indiana Pacers, maybe they go and get a center upgrade because they're not going to be in the market for Giannis whatsoever. So that's kind of the only type of moves that you would see without him. But other than that, yeah, everybody's just waiting to see and know whether or not Giannis will be available.
Talking to Brett Siegel. Brett, you made me think of something when you were bringing up who is and isn't going to be available. I never know what the Pelicans are up to, but I do think that the Kings and how, I guess, transparent they've been, everybody knows that the Kings players are available, right? And I wonder, is this a situation where, you're in class and the same person that always raises their hand, a lot of times that was me, is raising their hand and the teacher says, anybody else? Is that going to be the situation this trade season? Are the buyers out there going to wait for, I know we talked about Giannis, but let's say the Pelicans. Are the buyers out there going to wait for maybe the Pelicans and possibly even the Jazz who are saying, no, we want to build around marketing now? Are the Kings going to just be standing around while buyers are waiting for other teams to kind of change their stance on things?
Pretty much, and that's really the only way that I can realistically see the Kings making any move because of the contracts that they have. They don't have these valuable contracts as we look at. One of the teams that always comes up in conversations is the Indiana Pacers. They've done a great job of having their two stars, and then they have very flexible, very easy contracts around them if they wanted to make a potential move. And when you compare the Kings to the Indiana Pacers, there's a big difference there because the Kings contracts that they want to move, you're talking about Zach LaVine at $47 million, Domantas Sabonis at $40, DeMar DeRozan at $25. It's tough to move those kind of contracts in the middle of the season, especially in today's age of the first and second apron restraints that these teams are facing, and so many teams being hard capped around the league at one of those apron marks. The Kings don't have the flexibility to kind of help other teams out. It's just a matter of, hey, are you interested in this guy, and can we fit into the equation of matching salaries? That's the only way the Kings are going to be able to make a significant move at the trade deadline, and that's why I say they're going to need a third or fourth team to get involved here, just because there's going to be so many moving parts to make contracts equal. And for those teams that are going to be buyers, they're not going to be able to send out 3 or 4 guys to one team just to get one back. That's why you're going to need another team to get involved, and that's why the Sacramento Kings can get involved by taking on some potential bigger contracts that are either expiring or have another year left, just to get rid of guys like DeRozan and LaVine.
Just a couple more for you, Brett. I know you're busy running around. We're approaching December 15th, and more of these players are going to be available. Keon Ellis, there was a thought that maybe the Lakers, I know Sam Amick mentioned the Lakers, they need a 3-and-D guy. Where do you see Keon Ellis's value at right now? The Lakers got the 27th pick in the draft. Do you think the Kings, if Keon agrees to an extension, do you think like Pascal Siakam did, could the Kings get a first-rounder back for Keon, or does that sound a little bit too rich for some of these teams' blood? Well, what is the value for Keon Ellis right now?
Well, there's definitely teams interested in him. We have heard that, and obviously the Lakers would be an interesting fit there given the need and the type of role that he would play. But I think that Keon Ellis is much more valuable as being a sweetener and an extension to one of those guys like we talked about, whether it's DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk. If you include Keon Ellis in that trade, all of a sudden that increases the overall value of the trade because, hey, you're going to take on one of these guys' contracts. We'll give you a young player and Keon Ellis out of it. And I think that that's kind of where the interest lies at this point with the Kings, is if they can include Ellis with one of these other guys and they can get back a draft pick, that's going to be viewed as a win in their mind because it does not appear as if there's any future for Keon Ellis in Sacramento. It kind of seems like the Jonathan Kuminga situation in a way where we know this is ending. It's just on better terms than Kuminga with the Warriors compared to Ellis with the Kings. So we know that it's ending. We know that he's most likely going to be moved. And so if you attach him to get off a contract like DeMar DeRozan, hey, maybe you can get back a smaller contract, a guy in his mid-20s or something that you can turn into whatever you want, and then you can get a future draft pick out of it. I think that would be the best case scenario for the Kings at this point. But Keon Ellis, if you're going to trade him by himself, it's just a $2 million contract. And the Kings, who are hard capped at the first apron, there's only so much that you can do to help yourself by just trading him. So that's why I say I think it's much more likely that he gets kind of wrapped into one of these other deals with a DeMar DeRozan or a Malik Monk.
Brett Siegel, thank you so much for joining us, man. Enjoy your time in Vegas. Enjoy your time in Orlando. Two places that should be warmer. I know it can get cold in Vegas from time to time, but enjoy your time out there. Happy holidays, and we will definitely be talking to you soon, my guy. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Alan. Thanks.
Great stuff there from Brett Siegel, National NBA Insider for Clutch Points. Let's react to everything that Brett had to say, because that sweetener role for Keon, now it depends on what you might get back and what that level is of player, and does that interest you? Maybe it's a former top 10 pick that has kind of flamed out a bit, and it's time for a second draft situation. Let's keep that conversation going, and we hear from Mark Spears what he had to say about the Kings saying, no, you will not get a first-round pick, Warriors. You messed that one up. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy, circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Elk Grove Chevrolet, Western Health Advantage, and OK Tire and Automotive.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Thanks to Brett Siegel. Great stuff. As always, Brett gets to go Wait, we were just joking about the NBA Cup. So, the interesting thing, because Michael Scotto said this too, so I'm wondering why we aren't heading out there to the G League Showcase.
Yeah.
Can we have a party for the G League Showcase?
What do you mean? This happens every year.
Well,
usually, our girl Morgan Reagan, she usually calls games out there every year.
Orlando, that's a long flight though.
It's a little bit of a flight.
I like to keep it under 3 hours.
Yeah, Orlando's probably 4.5.
I don't know. I think we're looking at 5.
Yeah.
5 to 6.
I mean, Orlando's not Miami, you know.
I mean, if you want me, if you want to be out there, you could be out there, but we will not be out there. But yeah. Brett will, Michael Scotto will.
It's just winter summer league.
So I mean, we just had both of them on the show, but I'll obviously be chatting with them, and I think that there will be a lot of information coming out while that's happening. So that's good stuff. That's exciting stuff right there. Real quick, I was giving a shout out to, and we're 30 minutes away from Tony Hinchcliffe. Free tickets were given away. I will pick the lucky number Friday, December 19th at Thunder Valley at the venue. We were giving shout outs to the listeners. I meant to give a shout out to my guy Tino. So Frankie and I met Tino at a restaurant. And this
already sounds like a plot to The Godfather.
This restaurant is Frankie, me and my guy Frankie Cardistelli, we met up. You know, we got a break away from the children real quick. And we were watching some football at a place that's very famous for wings. Okay? Now, that's how I'll say it. Out there in the Thomas, and a guy comes up to us, Tino, and Tino, said, "Hey, aren't you Allen Stiles?" and provided us with some libations. So we want to give a shout out to Tino. I don't know if Tino's listening right now. That was a couple weeks ago. But I gave a shout out to some of the people that I met at the listeners that I met at the mall. But I remembered I never gave a shout out to Tino, who, made sure that everybody was having a good time. So thank you, Tino. We appreciate you. So just had to throw that one out there, Kyle.
Okay, shout out Tino.
Shout out Tino. All right. As we get into what Mark J. Spears had to say about Jonathan Kuminga and the Kings offer. The Kings said, no, we will keep our first-round pick. Sorry, that ship has sailed. Here it is.
Kuminga is saying all the right things. But
yes, you're right.
How big a deal is this DNP?
Free JK. You can see it in his eyes. He's trying to be professional. I mean, it's still several weeks away before he's eligible to be traded. And it just started off so well. He averaged 15 points and 7 rebounds the first 12 games. Then he got hurt. And just like last season after he came back from injury, just doesn't mess well with the Warriors. Obviously, it's going to be a couple weeks till he's eligible to be traded, but I know the Sacramento Kings are still interested. They threw Monk at it before in the first, but I don't think that first would be available anymore. But now, Kuminga's at a number at $24 million where perhaps they could get a better player, or they're going to have to get a bigger name player probably than before because of that number. So that will help the Warriors out.
There you go. That was Mark Spears. And, hey, we got to find a way to get some of this audio. You know what I mean? We're going to get this audio any way we can get this audio. So thank you very much,
Thank
Kyle.
you to whoever was recording NBA Today off their phone.
So, yeah, that was Mark Spears. And the one thing I will say, as we have definitely hit our Kuminga quota for the day, he's only 23. Does seem like he kind of misses games a good bit on top of everything else. Now, look, if you are moving off of Malik Monk, right, for Jonathan Kuminga, then sure, that you do what you got to do. But he's played 17 games, so he's only missed a couple, right? Where are we at? 21 games now. Last season, do you realize, Kyle, he only played 47 games.
No, he was out for a long time last year.
He barely played half the games.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy at 22 years old.
Well, in his defense, some of those were DNPs.
Well, he was on the court. How many games was he actually injured versus just didn't play?
Steve Kerr benched him for a few of those games, but for the most part, he was out 30-something games. He was on that Jimmy Butler schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, the years before, to be fair, When he was 21, he played in 74 games. When he was 20, he played in 67. When he was 19, he played in 70. So last season was maybe the outlier. And this season, he's back. He's just getting DNP. So it's a bit confusing there.
Also, even the injury was weird because remember, Steve Kerr was like, I don't know when he's coming back.
And then he just appeared.
He was cleared, but he still had soreness.
Yeah, I think where the Kings are at is probably where a lot of teams are going to be at. This is turning into Kuminga, it being a Kuminga package where the Warriors are just going to be willing to pay more to be done with it, I think, than getting lesser value and just kind of biting the bullet that way. I don't think they're going to go and say, all right, fine, Kings, since you won't give us a first-round pick, fine, we'll just take Malik Monk because that money works, or Malik and Devin Carter. I think it would turn into, no, we'd rather just bite the bullet in a different way and say, here's Pajemski and a first-rounder, New Orleans. We'd rather just get Trey Murphy and pay more than save the first-round picks and take back Malik Monk. That's what Brett Siegel has kind of signaled to us and kind of makes sense at this point. You want to get something back, and it's no disrespect to Malik, but they didn't have a large level of interest, and they have enough guards. They just do.
This is what we had been talking about going back to the end of Kuminga Watch, which was the Kings' best chance to land him was at that point when he was threatening to take the qualifying offer. Because if he took the qualifying offer, he could control exactly where he went. Now, not only is it out of his control, but by signing what is essentially a 2-year deal because of the team option, the Warriors now have the leverage to just say, actually, we're just going to sit on Kuminga through the deadline and into the offseason and maybe into next year, as long as they're willing to grit their teeth and allow this thing to keep being really annoying behind the scenes. Because it seems less uncomfortable than it was back in September when, everyone was at training camp unofficially in San Diego and he didn't show up and his agent was doing the media tours. It seems uncomfy, but it doesn't seem as ugly as things looked in the summer now. So I think the Warriors can withstand this.
Well, I just think everyone knows what it is. And they knew this was going to happen. They tried to play it off as if it wasn't going to be the case. And that lasted about 2.5 months, maybe 3. And this was where it was always going to go. So that's where we're at now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I don't know if we're putting a fork in it, but yeah, Brett Siegel basically said the Warriors aren't going to just take lesser value. They'd rather just pay more. So I think this thing is done. And it's funny, we thought that there would be more suitors for Jonathan Kuminga once we got to this point. It's actually turning into the Warriors just paying more. It's not a matter of better packages that other teams have. It's a matter of the Warriors are willing to just pay more and get better value back, which eliminates the Kings because the Kings, they're not going to say, wait. I just don't think there's a world. The Warriors just want a better player, right, than what they believe Malik Monk is going to bring to the table. Really, anybody on the Kings outside of a guy that they can't trade for right now, which would be Keegan Murray. So it's more of the thought process of the Warriors changing versus winning or losing. So the Warriors are just saying, we're just going to pay more. We understand it dropped, but we're just going to pay more to get a better player versus, quote unquote, wearing the fact that Kuminga's value has dropped.
Yeah, it's the same teams that were interested before, right? Remember over the summer, who were the 2 teams with restricted free agency packages? It was the Kings and it was the Suns. Mm-hmm. Those appear to be the 2 teams that are still interested, and their offers are still not good enough for the Warriors. So the Warriors are trying to see if they could get something else. And, they're not going to take Malik Monk. While I think the perfect trade would be Jonathan Kuminga for Dylan Brooks, it seems like Phoenix is fine just rolling out with the dudes and seeing how far they go this year. And if maybe the Pelicans, they're willing to throw the picks in, Kuminga's just a salary slot and a young player who can get run on a tanking Pelicans team.
I mean, I'm looking here, and this name has been brought up, and it's always a funny one. because he has bounced around. And we'd have to double check the rules, Kyle, because he was recently traded. So I would assume it'd be January. But I think, honestly, you're looking at this, and it is a bit of an overpay, but the Nets would have to make a decision. Now, they had an opportunity to get Jonathan Kuminga, but think about it like this. They move off of Michael Porter. They got a first-round pick for Michael Porter Jr. He's at $38 million. You do Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Buddy Hield, and the Warriors get Michael Porter Jr., who's been playing really well. He's on a 2-year deal. So, and then the Nets, of course, they get younger because you're getting Jonathan Kuminga, and obviously they're trying to stink and get picks, but you're moving off of a guy who doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think the Warriors would attach a first to that deal, but you're getting Kuminga and Moody. And Moody, I mean, I don't think a lot of people still realize Moody is only 23 years old. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but you could get Kuminga and Moody, and you'd have to do one other, just throw on Al Horford or something, and you get Michael Porter Jr. I think that puts the Warriors in a really good place, to be honest with you.
Man, is Sabonis' value really the same as Michael Porter Jr.? Because we were talking about Kuminga and Moody and a first-round pick for Sabonis.
Yeah.
And if that's, minus the first-round pick, what would be going to Brooklyn?
I know Al Horford hasn't been good, but it just feels like if you're the Warriors, Michael Porter Jr. fits more of a need, to me, than Domantas Sabonis. So I don't know if it's about value. I think it's more about Steph and Jimmy missing time, and someone's got to make up for that. And I would trust Michael Porter Jr. to make up for that scoring-wise before I trust Domantas Sabonis. That's where I'm at versus Domantas Sabonis having more or less value than Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, just throwing it in here, it looks like the Moses Moody. Oh, I guess I have to throw in just a random. Here you go, Cam Thomas. You want to get out of there? Oh, actually, how about we do the guy who they tried to get in the Jimmy trade, Haywood Highsmith. Let's just throw that in there.
Yeah.
So that would work. So it's Michael Porter Jr. and Haywood Highsmith for Kuminga, Moody, and Buddy Hield.
I mean, and Haywood Highsmith is a shady 6'7", right? I mean, it's not nothing.
He's just new GP2.
And again, you're keeping picks, right? Michael Porter Jr. is on a 2-year plan, so it is what it is. I mean, they made their decisions, the Warriors did, and they're trying to live with it. But I don't know, man. After talking to Brett, kind of seems like the Kuminga quota might be cooked. Say that 3 times fast.
Man, what a masterclass that would be by Sean Marks, the GM of the Nets, if he turned Cam Johnson into Kuminga, Moody, and the Nuggets' first-round pick in 2032. Man, and remember when he would have taken Devin Carter last year, and look at what holding strong did for him.
Yeah, and there are there's a couple other teams here, the Wizards, but I think the Wizards, you got CJ McCollum at $30 million. He's expiring, I guess, right? That's an interesting thought as well. So there are a couple names that will continue to be floated around. When we return, let's keep the conversation going. The Kings getting a little breather. How do they get back on track? And are you worried that it's just not possible? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy, circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Elk Grove Chevrolet, Western Health Advantage, and OK Tire and Automotive.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The mildest summer in 30 years has left AC makers with overstock and far below their sales targets. Your chance for huge savings. Sierra Pacific's partnership with top manufacturers mean exclusive discounts to clear inventory fast. Get premium systems installed flawlessly by friendly pros with ironclad warranties and great discounts with SMUD rebates. Plus, HVAC's tax credits expire December 31st. Call for your complimentary proposal. Visit SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime. And a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't. And leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
For quality service you can trust, visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through January 4th at Big O, get $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Toyo, or Nexen brand tires. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not good with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Was checking in on Major League Baseball. Winter meetings are going on. Nothing big. You had Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers, which is terrible. It's the highest AAV annual salary for a closer because that's what the Dodgers do. Kyle Schwarber stays in Philly. So I know the Giants had some interest. Kyle Schwarber stays in Philly. So we're keeping you up to date there. But
according to Ken Rosenthal, they didn't make an offer. The Giants. There was no
on Schwarber. No, I know. There was interest, but it didn't make any sense. They have too many, and they have both Devers and Bryce Elder are both left-handed. So that did not make a ton of sense to me.
So they were interested in the bat, but never pursued it further.
No. So
I saw the Orioles offered like $150 million. That's crazy.
Well, remember the Orioles were good like 3 years ago?
Yeah, but
I know we've done this segment before, but
they don't spend money.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it.
Yeah. And the Angels are acquiring Vaughn Grisham in a trade with the Red Sox. That's from Jeff Passan. So, of course, we will keep you up to date with. I think something else big is happening. There are a lot of fake reports regarding Cody Bellinger. There is, I guess the Giants did check in on Cody Bellinger. Me personally, 6-year deal. That's his projection. I believe he's 30 right now or 29. I'm torn on it. Look, people get on me because I don't think Jung-Hoo Lee I think he should be moved to a corner, okay? And I know these outfielders, you got to go young because they're going to get older, they're going to get banged up, and you're going to have to, move on. I would just go get Harrison Bader, who I call the best version of what Drew Gilbert could be. So just go get Harrison Bader on a 2-year deal and call it a day. That's what I would do. I just don't think the Giants are going to get a Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger, so I'm not getting my hopes up. I just hope that they don't go to certain other teams.
How about the Giants just stop giving out big contracts for a second?
Oh, well, they're not. The problem is they're done doing that. They just don't have a full pitching starting rotation.
Yeah.
So they gave out too much money, but now everyone's saying, well, don't you want to pay for a one more starter? And they're saying, well, we're out of money now because we gave it to Willie Adames and Matt Chapman.
And Rafael Devers.
And Rafael Devers for the next 10 years.
Yeah, again, this is the thing I was saying is like, do we actually know if Buster Posey knows what he's doing? Because I think the ownership is just more comfortable with him spending their money. And now they're like, oh, and now we're out of money. And we've got Matt Chapman and Willie Adames and Rafael Devers and Logan Webb and maybe a couple other guys.
Yeah. So I'm just double checking here. Nothing new quite yet, but I do have, and by the way, the Giants, think about it like this, Kyle. The Giants are trying to stay away from Scott Boras' clients. That came out last week.
That's not a good idea.
No, that's why they agreed to an extension with Matt Chapman before he could get the free agency because they didn't want to deal with it. So good luck with that.
So they're just scarred from the whole Blake Snell situation? Is that what the deal is?
I guess. So yeah, that's the current situation that the Giants are going through. We'll keep you up to date if anything pops up. As far as the Kings are concerned, there's just a lot of different opportunities that the Kings are hoping to have as they move into the true trade season. Yeah, I'm just worried that there's just going to be too many other players out there that they just won't be interested in the Kings players. And I've already come to terms with the fact that they might have to buy out DeMar DeRozan. A lot of people don't think that'll be the case. But, Kyle, we were trying to do this during the break as Brett Siegel, who that'll be up on YouTube soon if you missed it, if you were dropping your parrot off at daycare. We were trying to figure out what is the sweetener deal that would make sense. Who is a player that you – because if I tell you not that the Pacers would need DeMar DeRozan, but if I tell you – that the Pacers, they did a deal and they got DeMar DeRozan, and the player, just hang with me, the player they got back is former top 10 pick Jarris Walker. People would say that's not good enough. We were just talking about, okay, Kuzma and Ryan Rollins. You said, Allen, I don't know. And if it would be DeMar and Keon for Kuzma and Ryan Rollins, you said, Allen, I don't think the Bucks would give up Ryan Rollins. So I don't know what that sweetener deal is right now.
I think it's just the 2 seconds. That's the only thing I could think of, which, by the way...
But Brett brought up a possible young player, though.
Yeah, look, if we're saying DeMar DeRozan's value is salary filler and a couple seconds, then the young player probably makes up for a second-round pick or something like that. That's... Like, it can't be a player that the other team sees as super valuable to their long-term future.
I think Jarris Walker would be in that category, though.
I agree. And by the way, if it's DeRozan and Keon, because remember they want Keon, maybe then they'll say, oh, DeRozan's just filler, but Keon, we think he's part of our long-term future. So now we're willing to part with a player who is more long-term projectable, like a former, as you keep pointing out, former top 10 pick Jarris Walker.
I know I am not trying to do a bit here, but you do wonder with all the guys they have, if the Hornets ever figured it out, like a Tijan Salon. I know he has not been good, but I do wonder.
But he's playing now.
He's playing now.
Unlike Devin Carter, he's getting runway.
Yeah. So, all these different ideas that people have, I'm just setting myself up for a letdown, to be completely honest with you. I'm just setting myself up for nothing to happen besides DeMar DeRozan getting bought out after the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean...
And maybe a Malik Monk, maybe.
If we're doing the Hornets one specifically, I think Zach LaVine would be great for what they're trying to do right now. I know the money is cost prohibitive, but Zach LaVine would be great with Kneppel and
unless it's LaMelo.
Yeah, well, the point would be to LaMelo and Zach LaVine, but yes, well, I would agree.
Okay, here's a good one. To that end, Kyle, he's only 23, but I mean, we were talking about the amount of games these guys have played. I do wonder, Kyle, last season he played, oh my goodness. Last season he played 27 games, Brandon Miller. This season he's played in 8. Is that a guy where the Hornets, not this season, right? Because, and I know the money would be tough, but is he a guy where the Hornets just say, we got Con Kneppel, we got Liam McNeely, we got, I'm not going to say Tajon Salon, we got a bunch of young guys. We're willing to part with Brandon Miller because the brother cannot stay on the court.
See, I think they're better off just extending him because then his value will inherently go up if you have Brandon Miller at 6 years. Now, that might mean it's 2 years away from him potentially getting traded, but yeah, if I'm the Hornets, I think you're just better off just extending Brandon Miller and waiting to see if he blossoms into something.
Yeah, this just came out, Kyle, from Jake Miller about 20 minutes ago. The Clippers are expected to do right by their franchise legend and work with him to find his next trade destination.
Which one is that?
This is Chris Paul. I've also been told in strong terms that the Clippers do want to work in tandem with Paul and his CAA representation to find him a new home. The 40-year-old indicated last week that he is more likely than not to keep playing, even if it means leaving Los Angeles, and league sources insist that the Clippers, in a nod to Paul's status as a franchise legend, do want to help him relocate. Do y'all, you know what? I got to be careful here because, you know, they took the cleats off me. Or who else? Who knows? Maybe I'd still be trying to play somewhere. But what are you chasing, Chris? You got your kiddo, his kiddo, I don't know how many kids he got. I know one is, I think maybe in high school or about to be in high school. State Farm. And Jake, who's got about 3-4 inches on you, you made a ton of money. What are you, I guess maybe it's not what are you chasing, what are you afraid of? And I think some of these guys are afraid of retirement. I do.
I don't think Chris Paul is, because remember, he had announced he was retiring at the end of the year. Where I think he's at right now is, I don't want to go out like this. I think that, like, he was blindsided by the...
Then chill.
No, he doesn't want to go out with the Clippers sending him home for being annoying. Like, I think he was so blindsided, because remember, he wanted to go back to LA just because he wanted to be near his kids. But I think he was just so blindsided by being sent home that he doesn't want to go out that way.
But Kyle, and we got to take a breather here, but was he blindsided? I'm assuming somebody said, hey, bro, can you chill? Right? When you out with your friend and maybe too many libations, right? And they keep talking, hey, man, can you chill? Number one. Hey, man, can you chill? Number two, you know what, bro? We're just going to head somewhere else and you can kick it here. Hey, what happened last night? No, we told you to chill.
I don't think he thought they would publicly embarrass him.
But we told you to chill. On the other side, we hit the 1 o'clock hour. What is your worry meter for Keegan Murray? Let's break down the numbers here. And another name to throw around, the hybrid tank that supposedly the Kings aren't doing. Also, Tony Hinchcliffe tickets. The time is now. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy, circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Elk Grove Chevrolet, Western Health Advantage, and OK Tire and Automotive.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is being brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco improves to 9-4 with a road-winning Cleveland 26-8. Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy both rushed for touchdowns in the victory. The defense was stellar, forcing 2 fumbles and holding Shadur Sanders to just 115 yards passing. Next up for San Francisco is Tennessee. You can catch all the action on Sunday, beginning at noon, right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins. Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
You can't call in until we give you the lucky number. Saw some of you trying to call in early. I know they were going fast. I know. So we won't make you wait any longer because I got some questions to bring up with you as we get to this. Win a pair of tickets to see world-renowned comedian Tony Hinchcliffe performing for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley on Friday, December 19th. We're looking for a lucky caller number 3. Caller number 3 to win a pair of tickets to see... I haven't heard that in a while. Tony Hinchcliffe at 916-339-1140. That's caller number 3 at 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Kyle, I got a question for you.
All right.
And I know these calls are coming in, but just real quick. So here's my thing. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. All right? And we think caller number 3 just came in. So I'm not even going to lie to y'all, but I have a question because I'm going to be in a wedding. Okay? And the wedding is January 24th. All right? It's out there in the city. And, we're using one of these online systems because number one, let me say this. I'm not big on, I don't like sending stuff back. I don't like, once I grab something, all right, you got to send it off and bring it back. I'd rather just go to the spot. I'd rather just go to the spot, find one, and, get tailored up, and it's all fine and good. But I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. When the holiday, we had baby number 2 in September. The holidays are here. My workout regimen has not been as strong. That's why I'm getting shamed by Russell Westbrook fans. I'm trying to figure it out, Kyle, how much time they give you to order a certain size. Because there's a size I probably am right now. And, my buddy, I don't want to be that guy. Hey, Al, you haven't filled out the tuxedo. Everybody else filled it out. So I got to fill it out. They're going to send it to me. But by January 24th, I got over a month. I hope to be a different size than I am right now. So I'm struggling with what I'm looking at because I got all these 8,000 tabs. They said, hey, man, put in your size. Well, there's the size I probably am right now. And then there's the size that when I get back to normal size, right? Because, the holidays, when I get back to normal. So should I put in normal size? And they're going to send it to me. Do I just have them send it to me? And then that'll be #motivation because it probably ain't going to fit when I try it on after they send it to me.
Look, if you do go through and have a body transformation in the next month, just wear a belt, Just wear a belt.
But, I like form-fitting stuff.
Hey.
You know what I mean? I can't, Kyle, I can't be drowning. It's a bad look. I can't be drowning in the suit, Kyle.
My point is, let's say the situation goes bad. Mm-hmm. Would you rather it go bad? Well, I'm not saying which direction it goes bad. I'm just saying, would you rather it go bad where you have a size too big or a size too small?
I want a button flying off and hitting somebody in the face.
That's my only point is either it's going to work out great, but if it does go bad, do you want it to go bad where you've shed the pounds and now it's a little big, or you haven't shed the pounds but you ordered the size you thought you would be come January 24th?
I'm looking here. 916 says, winter is kicking in. You aren't losing weight anytime soon. Well, thank you for nothing, 916. I think I'm the type of person I need that. Somebody else, 530, you're not going to be a different size by then. No chance. Sorry, just won't happen with kids and the holidays. But I'm going to get through the holidays.
I'm sorry, are there Westbrook fans in the chat right now? What's happening?
I'm going to get through. I got until let's call it the 2nd of January. The 2nd of January, I got, I can try to maintain right now, and then I got the 2nd of January to the 24th.
Okay, so
that's time.
So hold on.
It's probably about 10 to 15. I just need 10 to 15 gone.
In 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Allen.
I can do 10 to 15. Well, prior to the kids, I could.
No.
I could do 10 to 15 in 3 weeks,
You could
Kyle.
drop 15 pounds in 3 weeks?
Before the kids, I could.
What were you doing to yourself?
Well, I wasn't, it's called intermittent fasting. You just don't eat.
No.
You eat one meal. This is what I would do. I would eat a huge meal with seconds, all that at 12. Right?
Yeah,
and then I just wouldn't eat again.
That sounds like an eating disorder.
No, Someone said, Pool Guy Mark, is this 2026 or 2027?
That's a good joke.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, to avoid a mishap, go with what you are now and assume you're going to be that.
I can't. First of all, I don't know. Someone says 209. You can't pull up in an oversized tux. You'll look like a kid in your dad's suit. Thank you, I'm gonna look like Marlon Wayans and Lil Man. I can't look like that.
But it's not gonna be 3 size. You're not gonna be wearing the mellow suit. It's not like you're that dramatic of a fluctuation in size.
You mean the James Harden suit? Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a different suit.
Yeah. We're going different direction there. I'm
530 says, even if you lose 10 to 15, your body shape won't change in 3 weeks. This is the motivation I needed. I was going to get a burrito today, by the way. But this is the motivation.
Taco Tuesday, Alan.
That's what one more. Just one more. And then you know what? Now y'all have motivated me. I'm putting in this tux.com, whatever it is, I'm putting in what I should be.
The next time that Mrs. Stiles tries to offer you 5-day-old shrimp, you're going to say, sorry.
Yeah, no. But she's going to make her snickerdoodles pretty soon. And I do need those. But I'll limit them. I will limit them. See, now y'all, that's messed up, man.
I have not gone in either direction. Look, it's a small problem. Well, actually, it's a...
I think he's short, Tim.
Sorry, but...
I think he's short.
It's a small problem to have, but if it's going to go wrong, I personally would rather look like the Marlon Wayans kid in a dad's suit than to have the opposite happen, which is you've just ordered a size too small, and now, you lift up your arms a little bit, and all of a sudden the shirt gets untucked.
Then they're going to charge me, right? Then they're going to charge me if I rip the shirt. So, look, man, you guys have motivated me enough. I can't believe it. I gave all the listeners all these nice things to say. Tino reached out on the text line. Shout out Tino. But I can't meet you at the wing place anymore, Tino, if I'm for the next month. If I'm going to make this suit fit, this tux.
Amatrox saying elastic waistband on the suit. That's what you got to do.
This is the motivation I needed. Kyle, you can take the call now. Just had to get your thoughts on that. By the way, give me your favorite burrito spot. Because I do need one more before it's all said and done. Just put it on the
one
chat.
next week.
And one next week. And then I'm done. All right?
You know what I know is incoming now? There's going to be an Allen Instagram video of you jogging immediately after the show.
No, I'm going to hustle in silence.
It's going to be you going for a run, and there's going to be an Instagram video. If you know, you know.
Look, I'm going to have a nice burrito today. Next week's our holiday party, and then Christmas. But then after that.
Well, then New Year's, Alan.
And then after that, New Year's, once you have, you got small children, New Year's is just looking at people's stories, thinking about your younger years. That's what it is for me.
It sounds very sad.
That's what it is for me. But my mom might make the gumbo, so then I'll have to eat the gumbo. But then after that...
I don't know. MLK weekend, Alan.
But then after that, then I'm going to be able to save. Help me out, y'all. Help me out. I need 10 to 15 before January 24th, okay? Kyle is going to grab our Tony Hinchcliffe winner. And are you worried about Keegan Murray? Okay, Keegan Murray, he started out hot, man. Okay, he started out hot. He's still at 15.4 points per game. But his last 5 games, he is at 37 minutes played, 32 minutes played, 37 minutes played, 36 minutes played, 45 minutes played. That's not a game, people. That's not a game. Now, here are his point totals. In Utah, where he played 45 minutes, 23 points. After that, 12 points, 5 points. 16 points, 8 points. It's not good. He's shooting 26.4% from the three-point line, 43.2% from the field, 7.6. He's rebounding, 7.6 rebounds a game, 1.7 assists, 77% from the free throw line, and again, 15.4 points per game, which, funny enough, would be the best in his career. His career points per game is 13.3. So, funny situation because he would have improved, but obviously we're hoping for the three-point shot to start falling. I go back and forth because obviously Keegan was in a position where he's guarding a lot of different guys. He's guarding point guards. He's guarding centers. He's guarding power forwards. But there are other nights, and I think specifically last night, where you just have to find a way. Last night in Indiana, he took 11 shots, right? He was 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from three-point range. And there's some good looks. And I think it's to the point where we need you to at least hit the good looks, right? We don't expect you to go for 25 every night, but you got to hit the open ones, And I understand you're guarding Pascal Siakam, you're doing different things, but that is part of being a quote-unquote two-way player. You got to be a two-way player, and that's what we're hoping that you become. And right now, you'll see some of it, you'll hear some of it, and you'll see flashes from time to time. We just need Keegan to be a little bit more consistent. Now, for me, I'm not terribly worried yet because he hasn't played that many games, right? He's played in 9 games. He's not even at double-digit games yet. So it's a very small sample size. And as soon as he started, literally, he came right back and was at 35-plus minutes a night. That's a lot. So right now he's averaging 37.8 minutes per game. And if you're curious, I know Luka, that was right there as far as the most. Luka he's averaging the same amount of minutes as Luka. Okay, Luka is at 37 minutes per game. Tyrese Maxey is at 39.9. That is dang near, and I know you all know I'm a Tyrese Maxey guy. That's dang near, that's kind of close to malpractice, man. I mean, that's a lot. So Keegan right now, Tyrese Maxey Keegan, 9 games played. Keegan is second in the league in minutes per game. Tyrese Maxey at 39.9, Keegan Murray at 37.8, Luka at 37.1. And I know Keegan's only played 9 games, but I also don't see that changing. All right? You got Luka at 37.1, Austin Reeves at 36.8, Cade Cunningham at 36.4, Amen Thompson at 36, Şengün at 35.9, Trey Murphy 35.7, James Harden 35.3. That's really impressive for James Harden's age. Kevin Durant, same with him. They're both at 35.3, and they're 2 of the oldest players in the league, so shout out to them. But, yeah, Keegan is second in the league in minutes per game. So there's a certain level of grace, but there's a reason that they got you in that position. I know Tyrese Maxey isn't doing what Keegan does defensively, but Tyrese is a dog offensively. Luka definitely isn't doing what Keegan is doing. And it's also about, you know what? I don't even want to separate it into offense and defense. It's just usage, right? Tyrese Maxey, as much as Kyle, and he's on the phone right now, as much as Kyle wants to talk about him being a chucker, and he's one of my favorite players in the league, Tyrese Maxey's usage is insane. Luka's usage is insane. Austin Reeves, obviously LeBron had missed time. Usage has been pretty crazy too. Cade, crazy usage. So I know that Keegan is a better defender than basically all of these guys, but the usage is still there in different ways. Keegan isn't spending that type of energy offensively. I think we wish that he would, and maybe eventually he will. But, yeah, the usage is still there, and these guys are putting up numbers. And I guess it is a little bit unfair to not include defense, because if you're spending that amount of time offensively and you're not having to do much defensively, you're getting hit defensively, that definitely matters. But you're also not expecting Keegan to average 31 points per game like Tyrese, or 35 like Luka, or even 28. Right? Can we get you to 18? I think that was the hope. So a lot of this usage conversation is more nuanced. But, yeah, Keegan is averaging the second most minutes played per game in his 9 games back. And, he's either going to figure it out or not. And when you look at some of these other guys, I want to say, oh, well, is that something that they should be doing? But all these other guys are doing it. I mean, again, Kyle, to bring you back in here, the question was the minutes that Keegan's playing and how the usage kind of plays into that, right? Tyrese Maxey at 39.9 minutes a game, which is insane.
Yeah.
But they're not, I just think that's might be malpractice, but they're also not asking him to do as much defensively. Luka, they're not asking him to do as much defensively, but they're also doing much more than Keegan offensively. So it's kind of a two-edged sword, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually a funny way to put it. Maybe it's just a small sample size situation, but whenever we talk about minutes and players playing certain minutes, I keep being reminded of last year when we were talking about this with Mike Brown, and then I can't remember who brought it up, but they're like, well, actually, Doug Christie's kind of the one in charge of rotations and deciding who does this and who does what, but I wonder now how the dynamic works with deciding these rotations, because they've just gone through so many different starting lineups, so many different closing lineups. Like, it's got to be just a massive puzzle piece trying to piece it all together. But yeah. I when you say Tyrese Maxey and Luka Doncic and Keegan at the top of numbers, I just look at that and I'm like, that just doesn't seem right. That just doesn't seem possible that those guys are playing the most minutes, even though, Keegan played like 43 in that one Rockets game where they got blown out.
So, of course, we're talking Keegan Murray right now, but all of the texts that are coming in are about this suit size thing that I brought up. And now Greg wants to be a part of the conversation and wants to talk about, just says, Allen's suit size. What's up, Greg? Happy Tuesday. What you got for us?
How you guys doing, first off?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Headed to work. But caught what you guys were talking about, and I was thinking, are you renting the suit or buying the suit?
Renting the suit.
Oh, when you're renting, yeah, that makes it a little difficult. But sometimes it's cheaper to buy it. But if anything, if it doesn't fit and you need that little last half inch, just take it down to a tailor and have him move the button over.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's always a good help.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks for the call, Greg. Great stuff.
Yep.
And hopefully it goes quickly. Your day goes quickly at work, or your night goes quickly.
By the way, this is kind of funny. Guess who won the tickets today for Tony Hinchcliffe? Someone you know.
Is it Tino?
It was not Tino.
Oh, who was it?
It was our guy Amidrock on the chat.
There you go. So Tony Hinchcliffe tickets. Shout out Amidrock, who is all over our YouTube. So shout out to you, and have fun at the performance. We will be giving away tickets throughout the week. But yeah, man, look, y'all got me really ready to attack this thing. Joe from the 530 says, go bigger, Allen. Otherwise, you'll look like the Nutty Professor. I just was watching that last weekend. It was randomly on. That's from Joe from the 530. Sherry says, you need room to eat at the wedding and room to dance. Yeah, sometimes I be in those slim fit. Woo-wee. A little tight.
At the last wedding I went to, someone who was an important part of the wedding was doing a little drop down while dancing and split the pants wide open down the middle.
I don't got a splits in me.
Yeah. So again, go big, but then you got to stop off at a tailor if you do lose the weight. Maybe that's your motivation. Your motivation is to get to that tailor and have to tell him, hey,
man,
I need you to drop a half inch here.
Yeah. 916, some positive reinforcement. You can definitely do 15 pounds in 3 weeks. Thank you, 916. A different 916. You've probably heard this already, but it's healthier to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week at most. No, I hear you, 916, but it can't happen. We need more.
About this?
We need 5 per week
for 6 weeks.
Now, most of that's just water weight anyway.
Yeah. What part of this conversation seems healthy, though, to the 530? Nothing about this sounds healthy.
It's just one big lunch, right? And when you're doing intermittent fasting, you're not supposed to eat after whenever you woke up, 12 hours, right? So if I wake up at 7 a.m., you cannot eat after 7 p.m. But trust me, you don't have to worry about that. Right?
I thought it was eat once, and that's
Well, that's also what I'm doing. But if you are going to eat again, portion size. And if you wake up at 7 a.m., you can't eat after 7 p.m.
So you're not even following the intermittent fasting schedule. You're just cutting that down.
No. The last time I cut 25, 30 pounds, that was the one I told you about when I thought I was still playing college baseball and I was eating like it. And I just saw a picture. And I didn't have a beard back then. And I saw a picture and I thought, oh, no. And then I went 2-a-days and intermittent fasting. And I dropped it in a month.
And then...
But I was also probably 26 at that point.
Oh, I thought this was recently.
Well, I've done it twice. There's been 2 times where...
So why are...
That's all I'm going to say.
Why are you now motivated to just show yourself you can do it?
Because, well...
Or because the Westbrook fans called you Tubster.
The Westbrook fans, and also... I got it's wedding. I got 2 weddings. So honestly, here's the thing. I got this wedding coming up that I'm in. Then I have another wedding, which is in Mexico. That's in May. So I'm kind of trying to jumpstart it because, we on the beach in Mexico and I got to look correct. So that's I do. I do.
What? So that your wife can know that you lost the weight?
Sure. Why not? And, when you have my dimensions, it looks rough quickly.
Dimensions is what we're calling it now.
I think he's short, Tim.
It looks rough.
I think he's short.
It goes left in a hurry, all right? So thank you all for the help. And I see somebody hopping in with a burrito place, so I will be writing down that one as well. Kyle, are you worried about Keegan Murray yet, or is it far too early?
I'm not worried about Keegan Murray because he already got the contract extension. If we were at this point in the season and he were going to hit restricted free agency at the end of the year, I'd be like, what are they doing? It's just malpractice what they're doing to Keegan Murray here. They've just ruined the best draft pick. But because he got the extension, we're all good. He's part of the long-term future, whether we like it or not, and I really like it. So he's the one I'm least worried about out of everyone.
Okay, but at some point, he's got to hit shots consistently.
Yes.
Because in a vacuum, if you remove the contract, this is the third year now, right? Ever since Beam Team, where he has not only not been what he was rookie season, but not even been close to that.
Yeah, but the second year was a little bit different too, because remember, they kind of made the switch from him sitting in the corner and shooting threes to, hey, Harrison's going to kind of sit in the corner more. Keegan's going to work from the wing, and that's what led to that 47-point game that Keegan had that is probably inflating some of those scoring numbers from that season. But the second season, I don't remember it going so poorly. It was just he hasn't really made too many strides from year one, but year three, now it's going to be time for him to lock in. And then they brought in DeRozan, and he just became a defensive specialist, essentially. Which, by the way, to your first point about when I'm going to be concerned, if DeRozan's gone and it still looks like this, then I'm going to start to be concerned. I just think he's playing out of position, and DeRozan is clogging up him specifically. Now, Levine and Westbrook are also clogging it up, but specifically to Keegan's touches and abilities, I think DeRozan's kind of clogging that up a bit, as you eloquently pointed out yesterday on that viral video.
When we return, we have another name to throw out if the Kings do go into the hybrid tank direction. Also, we recap NFL Week 14. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The keys are in your hand with Sky River Casino's $200,000 table games exclusive BMW giveaway. Earn entries daily with a qualifying hand on any table game. Plus, get double entries every Monday and Tuesday. Prizes are awarded every Friday with a guaranteed 2026 BMW 530i winner on November 28th and December 26th. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
This is a name that Kyle has been interested in for a while. Okay? And Kyle's interest in Darius Garland. It's back. But he's another, again, we need all team, first team, all trade candidates. Darius Garland every year. It was Cam Johnson, but he finally got traded.
Kyle Kuzma,
but not just with the Kings, just in general. Trae Young.
At least just the last year.
Zion.
Yeah.
There's more on that list.
It was Miles Turner forever. Somehow Miles Turner was going to get traded and then never got traded and then left Indiana.
He's not first team, but I think Austin Reeves was kind of on that list. Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant, but then he signed the contract and it was just like no chance. Tyler Hero been trying to get traded since it was James Harden in 2020.
Yeah, so Darius Garland, another one of those names. This is from Sam Amico of HoopsWire. Teams around the NBA are monitoring Darius Garland's situation, and I don't know why, really. I mean, it's just he's a guy, again, feels like he's been injured a decent bit, and he's, 6'2", maybe? I'm not in
he is not 6'2".
I'm just saying, everybody ends up being 6'2". It says 6'1", so
I don't know about that either.
Yeah, he's played in 9 games, so again, he's missing games. Last season, he did play in 75 last season. He just missed the playoffs. It was just bad timing. Season after that, he played 57. Couple seasons prior, he was at 69 and 68, and then before that, 54 and 59. So he's always going to miss a couple, right? He's always going to miss a couple, and he's kind of in the midst of that right now. He's getting paid a healthy chunk of change. He's a 2-time All-Star. Kyle, you know how I feel. I am not interested in Darius Garland at all.
Where I pause on Darius Garland is I think you could get him for a discount right now. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say discount is the Cavs have to move him or Jarrett Allen before free agency next year, or else they're going to go into the second apron. So if you're Cleveland, because you have Mitchell, because you have Mobley, if you want to keep Jarrett Allen, you could do kind of the Pacers model of going 10 deep and like fill out a bench because that was the reason that they fell apart last year, was just they got hurt and the bench couldn't withstand Indiana. Mm-hmm. So if they traded, I know I've done this deal before, Dennis Schroeder, DeMar DeRozan, Keon Ellis, and a couple second-round picks or maybe one first in the future protected, If you look at the Cavs, you would have Lonzo and Schroeder, which is a nice 1-2. Keon could go offense, defense with Donovan Mitchell, which I think would be a perfect role for Keon. DeRozan could come off the bench with DeAndre Hunter, and then you've still got Mobley and Dean Wade and everyone else. Like, they could go a legit 10 deep in that situation. But again, that's only because the Cavs are going to have to move one of them, and maybe they decide we're not going to be able to get a better offer than just a few role players and try and go 10 deep for a playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't really excite me on the Kings side of things. The Cavs, the reason this is being brought up is the Cavs are 14-11. They're the 8th seed right now in the East. I bet you didn't see that coming because I did not. They're 5.5 games back of the Pistons, and they are 4-6 their last 10 games. So they have not been rolling the same way they were rolling last season. And, you know, those windows that we talk about, whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, does seem like they maybe had a little glimmer in their window last season. They would have had to beat the Thunder, but to even just get to the finals and get that familiarity, but they couldn't stay healthy, and they ultimately couldn't get it done. Yeah, you got the Pistons as the 1 seed, the Knicks as the 2 seed, the Celtics as the 3 seed. They've won 5 straight, the Celtics have. The Raptors, the 4 seed, the Magic, the 5 seed, the Heat, the 6, the Sixers, the 7, and the Cavs are tied with the Hawks, okay? So, you know, that's something that might continue to come up. I don't even know if how you feel about Tyrese Maxey is how I feel about Darius Garland. It just feels like, you know who Darius Garland is to me, and I know Whitey's going to love this one. Darius Garland reminds me, he's like the Mark Andrews of the NBA, where whenever you actually need him, he's not there. That's what it feels like. The Cavs, they needed him last season. He had the foot thing. Okay? Lamar really needed, whenever he really needs Mark Andrews, he's out here dropping passes. He's the I know he's a good player, but when I'm actually fully paying attention, he's either not playing or he's not playing well.
While I also acknowledge that Darius Garland, I do like Darius Garland, I haven't been able to look at him the same way since him and Tyler Hero yelled at each other about how trash both are on defense. And they were both like, yeah, you're calling ISO on you. And he's like, no, they're calling an ISO on you because you're garbage.
No, we game plan. We hunt him. No, we hunt you.
Yeah, I haven't been able to look at them the same since they tried to fight each other over who was worse at defense.
And I think it got brought up, well, I mean, he's small, so he shouldn't be good at defense. Oh,
well, okay,
goodness.
That's the other part, is Darius Garland would be more of a project trade because you cannot have a backcourt of him and Zach LaVine and be anything other than a terrible defensive team.
Yeah. Kyle, someone else is chiming in on the weight loss plan. They said, Allen, trying to do it at 45 is going to be way harder than when you did it at 20. I'm not 45. I'm not 40. Who said that? You know, shout out, but I got a while before then. I'm also not 25 anymore, but
you're halfway.
Who said no? Who said I was 45?
You are. You're halfway between 25 and 45.
Halfway. Hey, what is a way of a half? Right? What is that? Who said that? All right.
Trying to lose weight at 45 is crazy.
I never said that. This thing is gone.
It seems like we were in agreement now with me. My point was the one that everyone seems to, or they're just telling you just lose 30 pounds, which is not going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Also,
and
you don't
15 to 20.
You also don't need to. Okay, can we also point that out?
There's a certain vibe I'm going for, and I got to prepare myself for Mexico. Okay,
but that's in 5 months.
That's in 5 months. But you got to set the You got to set the standard. I got to give myself room. You know what I mean? Because you never know what's going to happen. Someone says, 916, with fasting, you're supposed to have 12 to 14 hours of no food. So start eating at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and stop at 7 p.m., something like that. This conversation is hilarious. All right, so now we got the actual intermittent fasting rules.
I don't know. When I used to do it, it would be like you eat dinner at like 5, but then just naturally you would eat breakfast at like 7 or 8 the next day. So then you just get a natural 14-hour fast.
This is how it used to go for me. I wake up, I run a mile at 6 a.m., and then I hoop, all right? Then, this is the tech world, so free lunch. So then I gorge myself at 12 o'clock, do limited amount of work for the rest of the day. Then I go back to the gym, run another mile, and then hoop again. But I can't do any of that now.
First of all, you can't do that now because you have 4 minutes of breaks to try and eat. Choke on almonds.
If we have another Friendsgiving and somebody comes up to me and says, nice plate, if I can keep having a nice plate.
Oh, holiday party next week, Allen.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a real nice plate. I'm going to take a picture of that dang nice plate.
Why did you say it like that?
I'm going to have a real nice plate. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so keep helping me out and send in that burrito.
What? Doing what? You can't say that on the radio.
So that's where we're at right now. Darius Garland and
weight loss.
And weight loss. That's just where this whole thing.
Darius Garland and intermittent fasting.
That's right. That's what we're gonna name this last hour of the show.
I don't really name the podcast, but
this one needs one.
That's just the whole description. The whole description is just Darius Garland and intermittent fasting.
916-339-1140. We are about to be joined by Whitey Gleason and Kayla Anderson. And it was, what a wild show. We had Carmichael Dave just bust into the room, all right? He had something to say. And if you missed all this, I'll give you the Spark Notes version. Basically, Sam Amick was on the Run It Back show with Boogie Cousins and Michelle Beadle, friend of the show. And Sam Amick said some version of the Scott Perry in the front office is trying to convince Vivek Ranadive that this thing might take 3 to 5 years. It got aggregated by NBA Central and kind of turned into, it kind of sounded like Vivek was against it. So Dave bussing in, Kyle, actually reminded me of, that's how I imagine Kyle Shanahan running up the stairs to not trade Brandon Ayuk. Wait, before you do this segment, you need to know this information. So Dave busts into the room, into the studio, and says, hey, I just got a text from sources. Vivek is not against this, and I talked to Sam Amick. Wasn't supposed to sound like that. Vivek is not against this rebuild. So then Dave sends out a tweet. He busts into the room, and Sam Amick also then tweets, and he says, no, that's not how it sounded. We got aggregated in a different way. So then we played the sound, and 2 hours later, we're talking about intermittent fasting. That's what went down. So Whitey Gleason and Kayla Anderson are going to join us. We're going to get all their thoughts on the last 4 hours as we get you ready for the Drive Guys. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ulta Beauty's big holiday beauty sale is back with up to 50% off must-have gifts. Shop irresistible deals like the Shark Beauty Flex Style and Benefit Cosmetics travel size mascaras. With new offers weekly, same-day pickup or delivery, and our trusted associates, we make holiday shopping effortless. Head into Ulta Beauty today. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
The Sactown Sports 49ers report is being brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco improves to 9-4 with a road win in Cleveland 26-8. Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy both rushed for touchdowns in the victory. The defense was stellar, forcing 2 fumbles and holding Shadur Sanders to just 115 yards passing. Next up for San Francisco is Tennessee. You can catch all the action on Sunday, beginning at noon, right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you are a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply. Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
For quality service you can trust, visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through January 4th at Big O, get $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Toyo, or Nexen brand tires. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not good with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
All the small things. Here's Allen Stiles.
I was just seeing this. We were busy talking about intermittent fasting, but it looks like Dr. Luke Wood sat down with KCRA.
Yeah.
And had some updates. So
on fasting?
No.
That's what I thought this was all about.
I don't think, but you never know. So, yeah, some of the notes here, they're still exploring whether Cal Expo would work as a site, but confirmed they would not move there in 2026. And he was talking about the joke, some of the jokes that he had made with what was it, the Montana State? Yeah,
Bobby Hauck.
Yeah, the Panda thing.
Yeah.
Woods knew Marion would be leaving, but did address concerns of instability with the coaching staff and how it could make everything look like the revolving door scenario. And this one's for Kyle. Woods said Lil Yachty did the concert as a favor, charging the university $100,000, about half of what he normally charges. Kyle got him on a discount.
A favor is what we're calling it.
Paid for by student fees, has started a survey for students on who they want to see in the future.
I know who will not be the next Sac State football coach.
Who?
Your friend Carmichael Dave, who admitted today, I don't know how to throw a spiral.
Oh, I know.
No, but when I walked in, they were throwing the football, so I figured I'd miss something.
Yeah, Sean Salisbury was on the show. And
Okay.
Sean, obviously being a former quarterback, David asked for advice because he said whenever they're in Jose's office after the show, when they meet, Jason Ross always throws the nicest tight spiral. And that is not the case for Carmichael Dave.
So I want to have a contest between Dave and Jose.
Yeah.
Because Jose, he looks like he's throwing a shoe with the wrong hand when he throws a football.
Oh, no. He is, to be fair, he's a football
Yes, he is.
guy.
I don't want to mess with him at all on the pitch.
Right.
Right.
Dave, on the
Not a
other
football
hand,
player.
come on, man. I mean, what is it that you're good at? You know, besides making tuna.
Also,
he's good at making tuna?
I just make fun of him because he'll just go on these very detailed food posts.
Soliloquies, yeah.
Yes, about, and I just thinking in his mind, somebody was scrolling through, wow, thanks, Dave. I was really trying to see how to make this black sesame seed tuna. Thank you.
You know the podcast studio that they're putting in downstairs? Don't forget my podcast studio.
That's right.
I believe Dave was saying yesterday, because I listen, but, sometimes I kind of zone out.
Days out.
But I think he was saying, it'd be so great if I could do a cooking show
No hot plates.
In the brand new podcast.
I'm with you, Alan.
No, Dave.
But I believe that's what he was saying. Oh, that'd be so great.
That'd be like a 5-hour show, by the way.
Just do that stuff at home, Dave. Do it at home. Why would you need to be in a studio?
He doesn't. You're right.
Just do it in the kitchen.
Not our studio.
No. The whole place can be smelling like tuna?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Give me a break.
By the way, can we talk about student fees, by the way, Luke Wood? Is that just a fun way of saying tuition? That tuition money went towards paying it for a $100,000 favor?
Look, Kyle, $100,000
for a
8
favor.
Minutes. All right. I got to listen.
It was 8 minutes?
It was 8 minutes.
That's wild.
Because of
the student fees.
I believe CBS 13 story described it as "quote unquote" bad behavior, which you can infer what bad behavior means.
I gotta catch this interview, but I'm just looking here. This is from Kyle. His name is Kyle the Mediocre. But
He's
I've seen
a great
him,
follow.
I've seen him pop up before. He's really big on.
He's got a lot of
local
information on things.
Yeah. So are you being? I can't tell. Are you?
Oh, I'm very serious.
No,
I
seriously.
really am. Yeah.
Like weird things, like obscure
No,
things?
he's got interesting connections.
Okay,
on a lot of
that's
stuff.
what I thought. I thought you were being serious.
Stadium things and baseball, football, a lot of stuff.
There you go. That's what I thought. So those are just some of the notes that he broke down. But I got to go home and check out the interview during one of your breaks, of course. What's coming up on the show today? Whitey Gleason and Kayla Anderson.
Today,
Senor
Kyle Draper
Segway
is
strikes again.
going to join us, and so is Matt Mayoko.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll see if we can't sort out whatever the hell is going on around here about the Kings and Scott Perry and the timeline and convincing people and clarifying things.
Matt Mayoko is going to help you with that?
He probably would. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Now that everything is kind of calmed down a bit, you just should have seen Dave just ominously.
I kind of can't. I wasn't here, but I just have a sense I can imagine.
So if you're listening or watching, there's a door, and the door has a little rectangle opening. So people will pop their head in, right? Whether it's salespeople or whatever, people visiting, and they'll just wave. And sometimes you'll see me wave or Whitey on the video. But Dave, you look up, and Dave's he's just standing there, and he's just.
That had to be creepy.
Peering in.
It's like you're in
the third segment
Halloween
of the day.
or something.
I'm looking. Well, and then he comes in, and I thought maybe he forgot his Muddy Buddies or something.
Right.
And he actually wanted.
I actually looked to see if there were Muddy Buddies, and there are. I really like those.
So then he comes in and he hops on the mic, and there we are. What a day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a day. What a day. So you got a great show coming up. 4 hours?
Yeah, at least.
Believe it or not, for the next
At least 4 hours.
Wow. I cannot wait to lock in. That's what I'm saying.
I'm still recovering from yesterday's 25-minute
That was wild.
extravaganza.
Don't start with me. Don't. By the way, speaking of,
Kayla was supposed to come
you
in.
should have made Allen just do the longer show.
I would have.
It was considered.
The Kings game, whatever. How about the Eagles? They're done.
Are they the best team in Pennsylvania? I don't know.
Well,
with the Steelers?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know who the Eagles can beat right now.
Right.
That's in the playoff picture. They just find new ways to lose. I don't know if you heard me earlier, Whitey, but I compared Jalen Hurts to a little Eli Manning-esque, or dare I say even Madison Bumgarner, just in that they're gamers, right? They're just gamers, right?
Yeah.
Just get him to the playoffs and you'll see a different level, but Jalen is not going – throughout the season, he's going to have stinkers. He's just going to.
That might be one of your most odd comparisons ever.
Well, you did the quarterbacks first, and then you added in
Right.
Jalen Hurts, Madison Bumgarner, and Eli Manning?
Yeah. Gamers.
Just like when it comes to the regular season, they're okay.
Thank you.
But then, you can count on them to win in clutch situations.
That was a whole thing. I know Eli's brother got 2, but that was kind of the thing with
Cooper?
With Peyton. With Peyton, he couldn't get it done. And, kind of the anti-Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw, very good in the regular season.
And can't do much.
So that's where I'm at with Jalen Hurts. Get him to the playoffs, and he'll play up. But throughout the regular, he's not going to be a top 5, top 7 quarterback year in, year out. Now, the Eagles have to make that decision. Is that something they want? But
nowadays, what quarterbacks are out there, Allen? Because that's the problem.
Oh, you can't move off
They're going out
of him.
and signing a 44-year-old in Indianapolis.
You can't move off.
There's not quarterbacks out there on trees.
No, I just think and Kyle made a good point with the Eagles OC turnover. They just have no identity. They got to figure out what they want. And they got to figure out Jalen, are you going to run? Are we going to run the yacht? What are we doing?
They'll still probably win their last 4 games.
Probably.
They got Washington twice, the Raiders, and...
Jaden Daniels, he's back.
Yeah. Well, they have a bunny in their locker room, if that helps out anything.
I saw
that's supposed to be a positive energy.
What was that?
No, you know what? It's all positive because A.J. Brown's getting his targets. He doesn't care about anything else. These diva wide receivers. I'll tell you what, the Niners would beat them right now. The Niners would beat the Eagles right now.
They would.
They might beat them with Mac Jones.
Yeah, because the Eagles just played last night.
No.
They'd be really tired.
No, they'll beat them next week.
And
the week after that. Thank you to Carmichael Dave. Thank you to Brett Siegel. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter, as always. Thank you to Matt George. You had to go half phone, half video. Thank you to the callers, texters, sack chatters. We will talk to you tomorrow. Till then, secure the bag. Like the beam.
Like the beam. Don't forget my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
A Sacramento tradition continues this year. The Santa Parade. Free for all to enjoy, circling Capitol Park beginning at 10 a.m. December 13th, the joy of the holiday season. Santa Claus is coming to Sacramento with the 41st Santa Parade. Join Sactown Sports 1140 December 13th beginning at 10 a.m.
Brought to you in part by Western Health Advantage.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturer,